a chance, with a chance, with a chance, with a chance. When the crowd gets busted, when the floor gets dusty, when your blade gets busted, with a chance, with a chance. When your room smells funny, when a hex takes your money, what's gonna save you, honey? Just with a chance, with a chance. All you witches and all you old magicians, it's time to start listening to with a chance, with a chance. When the floor gets dusty, when your blade gets busted, with a chance, with a chance. When your room smells funny, when a hex takes your money, what's gonna save you, honey? Just with a chance, with a chance. All you witches and all you old magicians, it's time to start listening to with a chance, with a chance. With a chance, with a chance, with a chance, with a chance.
Wintershins Radio. Radio for your spiritual side, a twisted approach to the left-hand path. And we're coming up on HexFest just in a couple weeks here. And as usual, there's always controversy. This year, HexFest is going to be digital, so I guess that, you know, the Catholics can't protest, or maybe they can have a digital protest. I don't know, maybe they'll figure something out. But in our own community, a bunch of crap going on that I'm sure Christian's going to tell us about. And, you know, he's going to tell us about his new festival, too, hopefully. And without further ado, I hear him, and we got him, and our special guest, Christian Dave, man. Miss you, neighbor.
I
haven't seen you in so long.
You. God, just a second. I'm trying to see how I can...
What?
Oh, I can't hear her at all. Is she talking?
Yeah, I'm talking. I said, you're missing out on all the chocolate cake.
Yeah, I'm really missing out on the audio. Let me, like...
You got volume on those headphones? We're like, yeah, we're redlining the mic right now.
My headphones are loud. Like, I can play music loud. Let me see here. Hold on. I think I can increase you with this wonderful program called Audio Hijack. And that is Audio Hijack. And, okay, now talk.
Hello. How are you today?
Yeah, I blasted you. Of course, now I can hear echoes of me. So that ain't going to work.
I was just saying that you're missing out on all the chocolate cake.
Yeah, Marta made a killer chocolate cake, man.
Can you be closer to the microphone, maybe?
We're like right up on it. We're getting red lines on the microphone, so I don't know why it's not.
And now Alexa's talking. I just had to like technology has been not my friend.
Yeah, I used to love your show when you'd come on and have technical difficulties for like 10, 20 minutes. I'm sure you hated it, but it was really entertaining. You got all frustrated.
Audio and video settings. Is there any way to boost the audio? You know, these aren't really great headsets. My other one I can't find, and I don't even know.
Okay, we just brought your mic up a little bit. Somebody in the chat room said you weren't.
Oh, now I hear you.
Why the fuck does bringing up your mic make me... That's weird. That shouldn't be that way. But okay, so that helped? You can hear me better?
And now I can hear you. Whatever you did.
That's ass backwards. That makes no sense. Is Mercury retrograde or some shit, man?
Oh, someone said I can hear both of you great. Christian is the lowest volume, so it must be input and output when you're turning it up.
Weird. All right, well, if that ever happens again, I'll know what to do. Never come up.
Well, two moons, am I still low volume? Shouldn't be.
Sound louder.
Make sure. Oh, okay. Let me see here. Yeah, I got my input volume all the way up. Two Moons says I can hear Christian way better now. Cool. I'm going to sip some of my coffee because this is going to be...
It's morning for you?
Spilling tea. Oh, no. Spilling tea, throwing shade. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason I'm saying those things by the by and the by. You know, because there's always a drama in Christian Dayland. People say I love drama, and it's not that I love drama, but I love drama because I'm forced to deal with it. So therefore, if I have to deal with something, I find a way to enjoy it. You know, it's like, just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down. And so, you know, when the drama comes, I find a way to make it fun. And so, you know, we're going to be spilling tea, throwing shade. I'm watching the chat if anybody wants to come in. Of course, I always welcome haters. You know, I love to... Because you know something, Michael, in all the years I did the Hex Education Show, I only had 2 haters ever call in. And I would always invite them. And I'd say, you know, you got to have something you want to ask me. But these people were always afraid. And the only 2 that ever called in were so crazy, like as in, you know, like French fry, you know, so as to be incoherent. Yeah. And so nobody that actually had a beef with me that was serious would ever call in, because on some level, they know that even when I'm wrong, part of me is right. And that if they're going to get into it with me, They need to have all their ducks in a row to know that they're now actually going to lose the argument. And of course, like Howard Stern, you know how it is when you're the one controlling the microphone. So, I mean, I don't, what am I trying to say here? You know, I always have my ducks in a row. Hold on, I'm just going to change the lighting. Alexa, Trunk Bay. So there's this beautiful place. God damn you, bitch. Alexa. Fucking bitch. She won't give me my light. Oh, there it is. Okay. So Trunk Bay is this beautiful bay in the U.S. Virgin Islands in St. John. See, I'm not misogynist. I call a robot a bitch. Now, I took the lighting quality from from Trunk Bay and made it into lighting with those Philips Hue lights. And so it's the perfect Caribbean blue upon the seashore. Oh, it's lovely. It just puts me in the best of it. You know, because that's what you do. And so, you know, there are people in this community, and I use that word with the most loose interpretation, community, that their entire modus operandi is to just call out person after person after person in hopes that their life will feel like it has meaning because they stood for some noble cause, or, you know, or at least, you know, I think in a lot of cases it isn't even nobility. These, you know, losers basically feel like they have no meaning or importance, and they feel powerless. And if they look at someone powerful and they can take that person down, they feel like it somehow elevates them. But it doesn't elevate them. It just lowers the whole bar, as, you know, it lowers the waterline. It becomes a race to the bottom. You know what I mean? And that is the magical community. It's one big race to the bottom. You know,
nowadays they just whip up a mob. They don't actually do the work themselves. They just, you know, people. It's kind of like being a troll. You kind of whip up a mob, step back, and let the mob attack you.
Yeah, but nobody knows how to troll like me, and I just created the most epic troll of my career, and it was the biggest middle finger fuck you ever, and it was so fun, you know. But well, here's the thing. I was just saying to somebody the other day, you know, these people love to study my flaws. And God knows, you know, people think I don't know my flaws. I know my flaws. You know, I'm a bitchy, F-A-G-G-O-T, and I can say that word, but I'm not going to say it on here, you know, with an anger management problem. You know, I've got trauma as a childhood. I don't really milk it. I don't work it. I don't be like, oh, it's easy to set me off because I have anger issues from childhood, you know, whatever. Because I'd rather be thought of as the second coming of Stalin than some poor, pitiful Christian that needs to be, you know, felt sorry for. You know, I've created that persona. It's like I don't want to be seen, you know. But what I find interesting is the people that have stirred up this latest kerfuffle that we'll be talking about. The three major players, well, at least two, I don't know, the third one I don't know if she did, but two of the major three players that really banged the drum, four players, two of the major four players, but there really were four. Foreplay, yeah, it is foreplay. But two of the four players bragged about the fact, including the one who actually started it all, bragged about the fact, oh, look, we got him upset, we got him to say something. Well, if you know somebody has a problem and like a trauma-based reaction, and you get them and you pick at it to make them go off, what does that say about you as a human being? I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to play the victim here because I'm not really sorry for how I went off. So,
they're trying to play the good guys, the crusaders, the noble crusaders.
They are never the good guys. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the good guy. I'm the devil. But these people, you know, it's sort of like, you know, you're so nice. You're not good. You're not bad. You're just nice. You know, from Into the Woods. I'm not nice. I'm not good. I'm just right. I'm the witch. You're the world. And so, you know, no, I'm not claiming to be the Bodhisattva. however you say it. I'm the devil. I acknowledge it. I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work. But these people, and that doesn't mean I'm evil. I think I'm a good guy, but I just don't suffer fools. And I get very bored very easily with idiots and stupid people. And so, I'm not going to sit there and claim the high road. And even when I take the high road, I never forget that it's a road. And so if I see some motherfucker acting the fool on the high road, it's a road, I'm going to run him over. So, the high road, you can still run them over because it's a road. But the point is, I'm not claiming the high road. I'm just claiming they don't have it either. These people that sit on their perch, like, that idiot Scarlett Magdalene, who's a Pathos blogger, and she's running around with these other people and bullying people and emailing them and telling them not to do the event. She saw something on my wall, and I love how she says she's obsessed with me. I don't look at her wall. People send me things, and they tell me things, and then I see them, but I don't go looking. Like they send me, and then I go look. But I don't think of these people until they think of me. And she must have seen something on my wall. I had this conversation about J.K. Rowling, and, there were certain points I agreed with her on, and apparently you can't agree with her on anything, and I think she's an asshole. And most of what I thought was that she's an asshole, but I had a couple points I wanted to discuss. And apparently with someone like J.K. Rowling, you have to just throw everything out. So I guess if I ever go back to Universal and I'm there sipping my butterbeer at the, Harry Potter world, then they're all going to bash me. But of course they won't, because you notice most of these activists are saying, well, we can separate her from her work. You know why they say that? They say they can separate J.K. Rowling from her work because they realize they're never going to get rid of her work. But you notice they don't say that about me. They're not going to separate me from my work. They're going to go and try to get everybody presenting at HexFest to quit. But they wouldn't dare do that to J.K. Rowling. And they hate her far more than they hate me. But notice they'll say, well, we can separate her from her work, meaning I won't probably get bashed if I go to Universal and have a butterbeer. But if I mention any of her points, I'm going to get filleted. And
you're going to be a turf.
Well, here's the point. She is right in that there are two sexes. We are a dimorphic species. Yes, there are intersex people, but intersex people are, 2%, an aberration of the biology, much like gays. I'm a gay person, and I know that gay is a biological anomaly. Now, it may be a necessary anomaly. Maybe it's Mother Nature's way of, maybe both intersex and gay people are Mother Nature's way of, population control. Who fucking knows? But at the end of the day, being gay has a biological, it's a variation. But it isn't the standard, it's not the default. We are a dimorphic species, and until intersex people start sprouting tomatoes out of their noses, we're a dimorphic species. But where J.K. Rowling is wrong, and my post that Scarlett shared actually said this, that as a writer, she insidiously segued in her essay that went all over the place. She did this essay on the trans issues, and she insidiously wove from or segued from male-female to man-women. And very few people caught that. Very few people talked about it as far as I saw. And what I thought about that was she's disgusting because essentially, wait, why do I have no sound? Do you hear me?
You have no sound?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, someone
Maybe
said,
because we're just listening to you.
No, Joanne Gilskowski.
Yeah, I saw that. Everything seems the same on our end.
All right. Well, anyway, so I thought J.K. Rowling was insidiously underhanded in segueing ever so slightly from male-female to man-woman, because now she's trying to say there are only two genders, and I disagree with her on that. And frankly, I think gender is all a construct anyway. Telling women they have to wear dresses, telling men they can't cry, all these sorts of things are all impositions onto who our personalities could be if we were being our best selves. So, fuck that bullshit. But, I agreed with the, and of course agreeing with the sex part means you must like her. I don't like her. I think she's, a horrible person. But the one thing she raised that I wanted to discuss was the idea of trans medical care for children, which in the original post, by the way, I said that I realized that I believe that trans medical care for children is necessary. So one of Scarlett's people said, everything he said in that post is wrong. And this was like a person that supports trans rights. And I'm thinking, so if everything I said is wrong, does that mean that you don't think trans medical care for children is necessary? Because I said that it is, you stupid fool. So all I was saying was, 7-year-old Christian used to run around and dress up as Wonder Woman with paper bracelets and a tiara. And I'd throw my mother's clothesline at people and demand they tell the truth. She never did know what happened to her clothesline. And my husband, he trumped me because this older brother made him a metal Wonder Woman tiara. You know, we wanted to be Wonder Woman, you know, and so I said, you need to be careful with these pills. And I realize it's not a common occurrence, but there is this clinic in, England called Tavistock that's being sued for overprescription or whatever. And then somebody said, well, that's in England. Why would we be talking about that? I'm like, well, you're talking about J.K. Rowling and she's in England. Yeah. So, stupid. It's fools. I need to stop using the word cunt and start using the word fool. Because I think it's more appropriate to what some of these people are. Because I'm the biggest cunt going. So I look at it as a compliment. So when I call someone a cunt, I always regret it because I think I should have called them a skank or a fool or an idiot or something no one wants to be identified as. Because I like being a cunt. But here's the thing. The idea was that I feel like if they're going to give these puberty blockers and things, because there are permanent things that happen. There's one detransitioner on YouTube that lost her voice, like her voice is permanently very male sounding and she's all bent out of shape and depressed about it and all of this. And there are people that detransition. Now, I don't think that should invalidate trans people. A lot of trans people don't like to talk about the detransitioners because they think it invalidates them. I don't think it does invalidate them. You know what I mean? I think trans is trans and people that aren't trans. And they're two different things. But I think that you do need to be careful with these medications because what about gay kids? And so I did have one therapist and she and I had a very respectful conversation. She didn't unfriend me. She still likes me. And I had a trans man on that conversation. I had a parent of 2 trans children. I've spoken to many trans activists since all this happened and parents of trans children and this and what have you, to sort of get clarity for myself. So I understand where I'm coming from and they understand where I'm coming from and I understand where they're coming from. And so this, one therapist said, well, there's a difference. Gay is who you're attracted to and trans is who you are. I said, well, that's not that cut and dry because there are a lot of gay children that are effeminate. I was one of them. And that femininity didn't make me a woman. You know, maybe I'm non-binary. I don't know. I don't really think about it. You know what I mean? I don't think about whether I'm a man or a woman or a male or a female or a non-binary. I stick it in and, there it is. You'll have some fun. I don't think about it. I'm attracted to the male form, whatever. I like dick. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't care what bathrooms people use. I don't care what jails they're in. I don't care what, I think these turfy people are ridiculous. And I think both the trans activists and the turfy people are ridiculous in the sense that they agree with one another on 99% of their politics, but they spend 99% of their time fighting about that 1%. When you've got Trump banning transgender people from the military and attacking women's rights, and Trump is doing things that hurt both second wave feminists, the so-called turf, and the trans people. And I probably agree with 70% of second wave feminist politics and 70% of most trans activist politics. Most of them are, the contradictory anarchy communists we've talked about. Most of them are socialists, so this or that. I'm not a socialist. I'm not an anti-capitalist. I like regulated capitalism. And here they agree on 99% of their things, but they'll spend 99% of their time warring at each other. It never ceases to amaze me. At the end of the day, people should be able to be who they are. I completely support trans rights. This is ridiculous. Like, I'm just saying that if you're going to give somebody puberty blockers, make sure they're not gay. I'm not saying it's an absolute no. I'm saying if you're not willing to get it right, then it's an absolute no. But if you're willing to take the time to understand, then I don't live in absolute. If that's transphobic, that's ridiculous. That's sort of like all the racists and Trumpies I've been deleting. I've been deleting a lot of racists. I haven't deleted the people that say, well, I really support Black Lives Matter. I just don't think that the violence is good, because I got black friends that don't think the violence is good. I have black friends that have said this to me. So I won't delete a person that says I don't like the violence, because to me, that's called nuance. That's called, a sort of subtle variation. But with these political purists and absolutists, they don't have any sense of variation. It's their entire list of 100 talking points, or you are the enemy. You either agree with them on all 100 points, or you are the enemy. I agree with these people on 99% of everything. Like, as far as the trans issues, I just think they should be a little careful. I'm not saying like J.K. Rowling or one of these people, they shouldn't give it out at all. And I do think that if you force people into that via trend, or you compel them, then it does become a form of conversion therapy, which was the term that she used. And that's what set everybody off. But at the end of the day, if you try to convince a child that doesn't really know, that might be a little gay, effeminate child, and he's got trendy parents going, oh, look, honey, we have a trans kid, and you push that on them, you're only going to end up with a disaster. And to me, that sort of feels like, these right-wing Christians basically telling you, you're not gay or trans, go be, straight and pray to Jesus. Now, I get that, and I fully understand that there is a high suicide rate in the trans community and that they need our help. I also understand that there's a high suicide rate among gays, and they also need our help. So I want to make sure that when we're helping either of these people, we're balancing it out. We're making sure, are you an effeminate gay or are you trans? And it's okay to be either. But when you're 7 years old or 10 years old, maybe you're not really sure. And so that's all I'm saying. It's a very nuanced conversation. And nuance is just, it's like Lisa Schofield just said in the chat. I've recently discovered nuance thinking isn't in everyone's toolbox. Lisa, are you really saying recently? Come on, people are idiots. Most people are idiots. I'm not trying to be mean, but they are idiots. Yeah. And so once she, true. Right. Well, one, so then this other person jumped on Scarlett's thing. I'm not going to name her because I don't want to feed her fire, but she jumped on this, and I kind of saw rage, not because she and I had always gotten along for the most part. Like, she'll friend me and then unfriend me, and then I'll friend her and then I'll unfriend her, and we occasionally butt heads, but I always liked her. And then when she jumped on this bandwagon without actually getting the whole conversation, she only saw the screen capture that Scarlett shared. She didn't see all the nuance that went on from that nuanced statement. And I kind of went off, I called her a cunt. I was mad about that she is, I'm not going to name names, but she's also a high priestess within a tradition headed by a person that we're not really fond of one another, but because we have a mutual teacher, we sort of leave each other alone. Because if we ever did go at it, we'd both get eaten by the mutual teacher and end up on the food tray. So, we're nice. I respect him. He respects me, is what it is. But I didn't like the fact that she jumped in. So I went off. I'm certainly sorry for calling her a cunt, because it caused me aggravation and it caused my friends aggravation. I should have called her a fool, because I like being a cunt. I should have called her any number of other names that were not cunt, not because I look at it as misogynist. I know some people do. I get people see it that way. I call myself a cunt. So therefore, my friends and I, women and men alike, call each other cunt, in fun ways. So it's not the same charge for me as it has for other people. And, for that reason, obviously I'm trying to, work on my anger, but that's why I have a shrink. That's why I have pills. I have Klonopin and I have Lexapro and I have this and that. Well, just those. But the point I'm trying to make, Michael, is my own spiritual development is not theirs to own. It's mine. And if they want to sit there being my accountability police, they can do that as much as they like, but they're really never going to get anywhere because it's not about them for me. It's about me for me. I became initiated in 2017. I was a secret initiate for almost 2 years, and I didn't want to become the voice of Alexandrian witchcraft. I still don't. I did this for my personal spiritual development. I have a high priest and a high priestess. Obviously they don't like when I swear in public, and I hear about it, and that it's not priestly, and I understand. So, my own developmental process is mine. I'm not doing it for these people. I don't improve myself, my anger reactions, my trauma reactions, my feelings about things. They are mine to own. And that's the part I resent about these people, that somehow they sit there on their perch and they think they own my life, and somehow I'm their commodity to do with as they please simply because I'm in the public eye. Well, okay, I chose to be in the public eye, and so I'm not going to whine about it that much. I'm not going to be like Britney Spears, or I remember George Michael talking about the tragedy of fame, and I can't remember the Sinatra quote, but it was so great. It's like, the tragedy of fame is when you play into an empty room and hasn't seen a crowd since St. Swithin's Day. Swing man, you know what I mean? And he had that comment for George Michael and his tragedy of fame. It's like, fuck off, we're in the public eye. You're going to deal with a little heat. And I don't mind it most of the time. What I don't like is when they bully other people. And that's what they're doing. They're sending this hate mail to everybody at HexFest. And of course, yet again, nobody's pulled out. That wretched Amarillo Moon.
Where's my hate mail? Nobody has said shit. I'm still waiting. I already have my response planned out.
Well, that's what it is.
Shit to me about pulling out hex.
They send it to the people, and they send it to the people that either they don't know aren't the one, or they think they're the one. In other words, there are some of these presenters who have created a persona where it's okay to do that to them. And then there's other ones like Christopher Hughes, who's this wonderful druidic priest in Wales, wonderful human being. And he said, I've never felt bullied before this. I'm just a wonderful person, like really great. He did the only known translation of this 13th century version of the Mabinogion that had, some people had said, I can't remember the guy's name, but there was a one that came out in the 1800s that I think Charlotte Guest used, and I think they said that he added a lot, like the fish and the rabbit, or the hare, or whatever it was. And those elements of the myth of Taliesin are actually in this 13th century translation that Christopher Hughes did. Oh, he's just fucking brilliant. Wonderful person.
Yeah.
But he's being bullied. But the thing is, they don't know that he's not the one. The man is a drag queen. Drag queens are the biggest fucking cunts ever. You never want to go up against a drag queen. You will always lose. And, and he felt a little bullied. I'm like, you're a fucking drag queen. You are not the one. They will find out. Same with you. They know you're not the one. Nobody messages Lori Cabot. Nobody talks to Penny. Nobody goes to them and says, how can you be supporting this? Nobody. Why? Because they know they wouldn't get anywhere. Because she's Lori fucking Cabot. It's like she'll do 2 witchcraft classes in a month at $500 a whack with 50 people in a class. You do the math. She's 87 years old. She's one witchcraft. The rest of us are all somewhere so far down in her shadow that we could hope to ever be her. You know what I mean? And that includes me. I make good money, but I am ever in that woman's shadow. We all are, whether we want to be or not. She is literally the top of the capstone of that pyramid, and she always fucking will be. So whatever. What are people going to do? And they don't say it to you. In fact, they don't say it to most of them. They say it to the ones they think they can get away with. And then I got to give these people some confidence and let them know, and they're like, well, your comments make it hard for us. And I'm like, well, look, I'm sorry if my comments made it hard for you. But the fact that these individuals tried to brand me with the second worst stain you can put on a person next to pedophilia. Like, you could be a murderer and they'll like you more than a transphobe.
Didn't somebody try and do that to you one time too, though?
Oh God, they've done it everywhere.
Yeah.
They've done. No. I have been accused in the court of pagan public opinion of every single crime except bestiality. They said I murdered Sean. They said I was a child molester. They said, I was an arsonist. I've had it all. And pedophile probably was the worst one. That was 20 years ago. Survived that. It's like, that was Jody Cabot's little rumor she hurled around. Notice I'm very close friends with her mother, who doesn't speak to her. So, it's like, obviously I'm not a pedophile, obviously, but, Jody, I love Jody. I will always love Jody, but I can't have Jody in my life because she's just too stressful. I love her. I will always love her. I could never hate her no matter what she's ever said about me. When you have history with people, you have love for them, but you sometimes have to walk away. And, regardless, here's the thing. This is one of the worst things you can say about somebody, and where my anger came from was, that's not who I am, and they're not going to take me down, because, not for nothing, the woman that really got this going got 146 shares, and then that awful Matthew Venus got 37 shares, and, that's not a lot of shares, you know what I mean? That's not a lot of traction. And Matthew Venus is half of this festival that happens the same week as HexFest. Are you really going to tell me that people don't see the transparency of that? Oh, let's bash, people presenting at HexFest, because maybe they'll come to our event next year instead.
Something like that happened last year too. Is this the same people?
Give me a break. Does nobody fucking see how are people in this community so stupid? Of course they are. Are people in this community so stupid? Absolutely. That they don't see how transparent that is. This motherfucker got an event the same week as mine, and he's bashing presenters at mine, trying to, reduce the confidence in mine, and, who does it benefit? His event. Give me a break. Give me a fucking break. And the owner of the shop he's associated with is one of the right-hand priestesses of Lori Bruno, who everybody was excoriating a few weeks ago for cursing the looters and promoting Donald Trump, and that we could cure the virus by inhaling steam. And,
that happened.
Right. But, she's in with the woman cursing looters and cursing black people. And you're going to tell me, well, fuck you, charity begins at home, Matthew Venus. Go fuck yourself. You're transparent, and anybody that knows it can see it. Or anybody that has half a brain can see it. At the end of the day, I am not a transphobe. I support trans rights. I support whatever bathroom people want to use, whatever jail they want to be put in, whatever, sport they want to play. I've had questions about certain corners of women's sport in terms of, if you have a situation, for example, like, I don't know, bicycling or whatever, and I don't follow this enough to know and don't care that much. But if I had to analyze it, what I would say is, okay, if there's always a trans woman, winning the bike race, well, don't throw them out of the sport or send them with the men. I know that's what the TERFs would say, but don't do that. If you want to find the nuance, God forbid anybody look for that, why don't you have like you have in boxing? You have heavyweight, you have middleweight, you have shelterweight, I don't know, welterweight, lightweight, helter-skelter-weight. I don't know boxing. I don't really know sports. I was that kind of little gay. But am I still there? So you give them division. Because I got, my friend Marita that owns Potions here in New Orleans. She's like this 6-foot-tall straight woman that there ain't a trans woman on the planet that would beat her in a bike race. So stick the trans women with women bikers that are bigger, and you know what I mean? Like have a weight category or something, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? You don't have to throw the trans women out of the sport. That's where I disagree with the TERFs. They don't find the nuance, and I don't think all the trans activists find the nuance either. And, you've got to find a way to come to the table and find solutions where everybody gets part of the loaf of bread and they feel like, they got heard, as long as they're not outright bigots or what they're asking for isn't bigoted. If a what do they say, assigned female at birth person is never winning the bike race, well, she might have a valid bit. But that doesn't mean you have to throw out the trans women. There's always another solution, and that's what bothers me. These people are so myopic and absolutist. They cannot think about any sort of third way of thinking, or fourth, or fifth, or sixth, or seventh. These people would suck at chess. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not a transphobe. That's the bottom line. And these people saying it are lying to you. And even the post that they shared, I actually say trans medical care for children is necessary. So if you actually read the post and didn't see that line, there's something fucking wrong with you. But here's the thing. Once I got past the pissed offness, the anger, the trigger traumas, and everything else, sure, bitches, you got me. You got me mad. You set me off. But here's the thing. This is what these people fail to understand. It's like when Bruno, like I would ever call someone in the middle of the night and call them a cunt without announcing myself first. And that made international news.
Which thing was that?
Like these people got 147 shares and 37 shares or whatever it was, or 146 shares and 37 shares between Venus and this other woman. And Scarlett got like 17 shares. Whoopee fuck. That thing with Lori Bruno and the phone calls was in the printed newspaper of the Independent in London, the national printed newspaper of Belgium, printed newspapers all over the world, digital newspapers everywhere. Millions of fucking people saw the warlock versus the witch. He called her the cunt. Millions of people saw this. Millions. And a year after that restraining order, mind you, I got it completely thrown out the following year, and there were no media there to see the sheer level of humiliation and the fact that I could have sold tickets. It was an event. It was, talk about brilliant trolls. I mean, I literally brought in witness after witness. I didn't testify the first year because, when you're up there saying your family controls the volcano and its eruptions, I figure they're not going to give it to you. But I underestimated the fact that they're going to give any little old lady a restraining order regardless. So, okay, fine. I went back a year later. I got it thrown out. But we went into the Jeep office to buy a Jeep. And this was only a little bit after we incorporated, a couple of years. And I said to, they wanted the revenues, and I didn't know the revenues, because I've always been like, as long as I'm making money and mama can take a vacation, I never cared. And once we were incorporated, I never looked at the revenue either. I'm a lousy Capricorn in that regard. I'm too busy making money and creating projects. And the projects are 90% of the time not even about the money, because I throw all the money back into the business.
Well, isn't this how you do magic anyways? Sounds like you're just doing a spell. You let go of it.
You've seen my house. I live in a double shotgun. What are you, in a Creole cottage or a double shotgun? We're
double
in, like,
shotgun.
but we're both from what were originally poor people neighborhoods. We're not in mansions, neither one of us, but we're living in nice houses. Yours cost more. Well, mine might be worth more now with the backyard, but you know what I'm saying. You got more rooms. But, we're not living off the hog. We live comfortably, but we put all the money into the business. Well, anyway, I called, but they needed to know the revenue. I called up the bookkeepers. I said, Pam, what's the revenue? What was the last revenue? She says, 1.5 million. I said, wow. You know what I mean? I was like, wow. Why don't I see that? And then I was like, well, what was the revenue the year before? She said 1.3. Oh, no, it was 1.8 and then 1.3. And so I come out of there. I said, Brian, after that restraining order that made, millions of people saw it, and that French fry stalker and everything he said, and, the whole lie that I walked up to somebody at a book signing and said I wanted to rape her, and then that actual stupid comment I made years ago that mentioned rape, and, all this. I went up $500,000 in revenue, and we've gone up $500,000 every year. Like last year, we were at 2.8. HexFest represents 3.2% of the total revenue. So even if they got every presenter to pull out and I had to refund everybody and the whole thing was destroyed, that's 3.2% of the pie. Do you think that's really going to rain on my fucking parade? Give me a break. 3.2%? Have at it, bitches. You ain't going to win. So anyway, they think they can do something. The only intersection I have with the magical community really is HexFest. Maybe 5 to 10% of my revenue from retail is practitioners, but almost everyone that gets readings is a muggle. So, like, they can't really touch that. And most of the people that shop with me don't know who I am or, whatever. So it's like, it's an impossible feat to cancel me. I'm uncancelable. So you're wasting your time. But I don't like that they're bullying these other presenters. That part pissed me off. They're bullying these other presenters. So what do you do when your presenters feel a little uncomfortable? They feel like they don't have a lot of allies because there's only maybe 15 or 20 of them. You create an event with up to 75 presenters. Yeah. And so I started WitchCon. I asked my friend Carol. I asked my friend Carol Crow that did the New Orleans Witches Ball, and she sometimes presents at HexFest, dear friend of mine. She did a WitchCon in New Orleans a few years ago. I said, I noticed the domain was for sale for $2,650, which is probably about why no one's tried to do one, because they didn't want to do it without the URL, and the URL wasn't for sale. I mean, it was for sale, but for $2,650, and it's fucking pocket change to me. So I went in and bought the domain after she said it was okay. I wasn't going to use the word witch because I thought it would alienate all the hoodoo and ATR people, but it didn't. It didn't alienate any of them. So WitchCon's going to be an online conference. It's going to be $95 to get in. I'm paying every presenter, and I've already got 63 confirmed presenters. Would you like to hear who some of them are?
Well, yes, we would.
Because so this is how I deal with things. Yeah, okay, I might get angry at first. But just like we went up that $500,000 in revenue the year after the whole phone calls thing that made international news, my haters, and they'll never really understand this, and I tell them all the time, but they still don't hear, because they still think they have some magical sanctity from the god. And do I really need to explain how the gods might be on my side? How about the fact that of the 6 people that publicly stood with our stalker French Fry, 3 of them have died violently in the last year and a half. One had a heart attack to the smell of her own shit that emerged from the cesspit that exploded into her house. The other one suffered from painful rheumatoid arthritis and then died choking in her own blood. And the third one, I think, died from either COVID or her multiple sclerosis. I'm not sure, but because I haven't gotten the details. But and I didn't magically do anything to these people, by the way. So my point being, these people that come up against me, I don't know if I have strong ancestor spirits or the gods just love me. But I always fucking come out on top. Have you ever noticed that? And every time one of these people does a thing like this, yeah, I get mad, I say something stupid, and, everybody gets, all riled up because I got mad. But out of every one of these fucking controversies, I come out better than I was before it. And so this time, let's run through the list. I'm just going to go through the list. Is that okay? It's long. But,
certainly.
You always do it with HexFest. I'll go do it with this. I've got Alexis Arredondo and Eric Librato. They wrote a book on Mexican magic. I've got, of course, Brian Kane. I've got Byron Ballard. She's a conjure. What do you call her? A conjure woman. It's like Appalachian conjure type of thing. Appalachian magic. Wonderful, wonderful. Just one of the most delightful presenters we've ever had at HexFest, and she's coming to HexFest next year as well. Candelo Kimbisa, who's a Palero, and
really?
Talk about take no shit.
Hey.
Oh yeah, I would love to see the response somebody got if they sent him a hate mail.
Oh yeah.
Like I would, if he didn't show it to me, I'd give him money to show it to me. I'd be like, I want to see what you said to this person that sent you the hate mail. Because if people think I have a friggin', oh yeah, no. If people think I have a button, his is like nuclear. His is the big red button. Yeah, don't go there.
Cat Iron would fuck with it.
Carrie, I would never have her. Carrie Ewers, who is an astrologer and one of the psychics at Omen and absolutely brilliant. She's in the New Orleans Coven, total rock star. Now, here's a name everybody needs to look for because she's up and coming, and I've been begging her to become more public for years. Carly Dwyer, and Carly Dwyer is, what does she go under on Crowdcast? I need to check because I know she has a married name, but I don't know if she uses it in her public. Carly. Yeah, Carly Dwyer. And Carly Dwyer has a degree in folklore and Celtic studies from Harvard, and it was a curriculum she created for herself. And she is complete. She has some classes, by the way, on the Crowdcast Hex Education platform on Crowdcast, which is crowdcast.io/Hex Education. That's where you can take classes year round, by the way. We got all sorts of people. And if you want to submit a class, we have a way to do that. Just reach out to us. But that's a year round platform. Michael here has done it. But she does some of the most powerful, historical, magical Celtic workshops, Carly Dwyer. Carolyn Kenner, who is a shamanic teacher, who is another take no prisoners type of a woman. I love her. And this idea that I hate women, I am a gay man. I love strong women. I wanted to be Wonder Woman when I was a child. I didn't want to be June Cleaver. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't, and when I finally got bored with Wonder Woman, well, can you ever really get bored with Wonder Woman? But it was only because I found a new icon, and her name was Alexis Morel Carrington Colby Dexter Rowan, and I even know all her names, and that was Joan Collins of Alexis and Dynasty, and she has remained my strong woman figure ever since. Kat Thagard, who is a witchcraft and hoodoo practitioner. Me, of course. Christine
That's one of my students.
Stevens, who is the high priest. Oh, okay. Christine Stevens, who is the high priestess of the New Orleans Coven, and she teaches a lot about the dark goddesses and underworld gods and that sort of thing. And she's, my high priestess, and so I answer to her and Brian in the Coven. Craig Spencer, who's over in the United Kingdom, and he just did this book that's coming out in August about it's a new translation of Aradia Gospel of the Witches, and it has hold on a second, I just itch my ear. I hate these things in my ear.
This be
Can
like
you
the
still hear
third
me?
translation. People keep doing this.
Well, whatever, but he's also giving commentary and that sort of thing. So I like the guy, and he's over in the UK. Denise Alvarado, that was a get, because she doesn't do many things, if you haven't noticed. It's very hard to get her to a conference. And I understand why, because like me, she has these people that just want to attack her. You know what I mean? And she knows if anybody comes to my event and they try that shit, I'm going to throw them in the woodshed and lock the door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, nobody treats people with disrespect at my event, or mine and Brian's event, or they don't like the results. Diana Rachel, who is another Llewellyn author, and I'm going to go on to Amazon because I don't want to get the name of their books wrong. Because why the hell am I not getting her name? Oh, because it's spelled a very strange way. Okay, here. Diana, hold on. I'm even spelling it wrong. Oh, I put the J in the wrong place. That's what it was. Sometimes I'm the fool. The worst thing you can do to a presenter is not spell their name right. I actually made that mistake with Kat. I forgot to put the R in there. And Thagard. Or Thagard. I put an R instead of taking it out.
It's so funny. She's one of my students, and I met her at HexFest. I met two of my students at HexFest for the first, actually three, for the first time.
Diana wrote Urban Magic, A Guide to the City Witch, Samhain, Rituals, Recipes, and Lore for Halloween, a book on Mabon. She's really got her name out there, and really wonderful person. She's also an activist for trans rights, and just a really social justice warrior. What's funny is how I met her. She came to HexFest secretly last year. She didn't even tell any of us. I mean, I didn't really know who she was, mind you, because I don't know a lot of these authors. I don't know, sometimes the newer ones. I'm still Marion Weinstein and Raymond Buckland, and I'm old. I'm in a cave, so I don't always see the new people. But once I looked into her, I was like, wow, she's really amazing. And she came secretly and then posted, I went to the Bad Kids event, and it was the most diverse event I've ever been to. And I was like, oh my God, I love this person. I went and friend requested her. Our politics are always obviously a little different in some ways. And, but I just like who she is as a person. You know what I mean? She's someone I want to know. Eddie Massey, who is let me go to his thing. I want to get his book right because he is E-Massey. Oh, for God's sake. He was at WitchCon. I mean, not WitchCon, Witches Fest. I just had his URL here. Well, anyway, he does have a book, and I don't remember the name of it. Oh, here it is. Hold on. I got the website. He wrote The Modern Witch's Curriculum, A Guide to Spiritual Exploration, Casting Creative Magical Circles. So that's what it is. He's the Pocono Witch, and he owns a shop. And where is the shop? Why doesn't he name his shop? Oh, here we go. Hold on. Oh, the Pocono Witch Shop. Here's the Pocono Witch Shop, the Pocono Witches Festival. Oh, yeah, he does a lot. I didn't know much about him before Witches Fest. So I am learning about these. I live in a cave, you know what I'm saying? But Elohim Lafar, and he wrote The Magical Art of Crafting Charm Bags. What a wonderful person he is.
Yeah, I think I know him, yeah.
Well, he's from Venezuela, so he has a little bit to say against socialism for some of these people that would love to, be too socialist in this country. He comes from Venezuela and has a thing or two to say. Ellie Barnes, she's the psychic, one of the resident psychics at Hex New Orleans. She also does the line Herbs from a Witch's Garden. She has a huge compound here in New Orleans with a gigantic garden. And she harvests and plants all these plants at the right astrological and moon phases and so forth. And so the collection of herbs at hexwitch.com, Herbs from a Witch's Garden, is like the most powerful stuff you can get. Like, she is hardcore. We've got Fiona Horn. I mean, do I need to? Rock star, author of 14 witchcraft books, scuba diving instructor, skydiving instructor, commercial pilot, ski mobiler, yoga teacher, spin teacher, shoots at the gun range.
Fire dancer.
I know I'm missing something. Oh, fire dancer, that's the thing. Fiona Horn is basically the Swiss Army knife of witches. Ellen Everett Hartman, who's a druid, and has written like the Druid Herbal, and a number of other books. And she's actually
Who's that?
Ellen Everett Hartman, and she has been.
I didn't even know she did that book. I know that book. Really?
No, her books are seeing a renaissance among the young people. Like, she got Secret Medicines from Your Garden, The Sacred Herbs of Spring, Sacred Herbs of Samhain, A Druid Herbal for the Sacred Year, Tree Medicine, Tree Magic, The Real Witches of
some of those
the Real Witches. Yeah, The Real Witches of New England, which I'm in, Scottish Herbs and Fairy Lore, Priestess of the... let's just say, she got a lot of books. Jean-Michael Salvato, who is an Italian, I don't know if he uses the word straight. He practices Italian magic. He's got folk magic in his family, and he grew up with it, and he knew Leo Martello and all that. And he does a lot of video blogs, and he's very compelling to listen to. And he's another one that's take no prisoners. Like, I would pay to see whatever he said to someone that sent him a hate mail. Now this one, I'm super excited. And I don't know how to say his name. And that's Gusty Zurega. And he wrote, God is Dead, Long Live the Gods, A Case for Polytheism, Pagans and Christians, The Personal Spiritual Experience. I mean, he's written...
Pagans and Christians, I think I know that one. Yeah.
Beyond the Burning Times, where he does conversations with evangelical Christians. this guy is a bridge between so many ideas and cultures, and he's so fucking intelligent. Like, I sometimes get into conversations and I'm like, okay, I feel like the stupid one here. Now, Jack Belanger, she is just spectacular. She made all the capes for, oh, by the way, Carly made my patchwork cape, Carly Dwyer, and she made my wedding capes. Now, Jack makes the tatter capes that we sell at Hex. She's an amazing seamstress. She's also one of the high priestesses for Laurie Cabot's, Cabot Hermetic Temple tradition, if not the leading. I know she's on the council with Maria Cabot and them, and so she is an expert in the Cabot tradition, and so she understands the science of witchcraft, and she's going to be incredible. Jennifer Medway, who practices Sansei, and she is also a Llewellyn author. Jennifer is, why is she not coming up? Is she another one I spelled wrong here? Okay, why am I not seeing her book? Jennifer, why am I not seeing your book? I know she has one. That's what I can't understand. All right, let's look up under her author name on Ingram, since it's not coming up on Amazon. I don't even know. I know she's got a book. I'm on a radio show. Hold on,
Look,
talking about your book,
Look at.
and I can't find it. Where is it?
So if you just joined us, Christian Day is telling us the presenters that are going to be at WitchCon, his new festival. He's looking for one of their books.
Well, I don't know what her book is. So what are you going to... Oh, you know what it is? It's on Llewellyn. I'm pretty sure it's on Llewellyn. Medway.
Yes.
No, it's not there. Oh, my God.
We're in a world of Trump.
Well, anyway, moving on from her, I don't know what I know she wrote something. I don't know where it is. And Jim Barker, who's a palm reader from the Northwest and an amazing teacher of magic and palmistry and divination. Jim Sayers, who is an herbalist. And let me get his information here. Should have had it already. But he has the founder of the House of Life Botanicals. He's an herbalist and a nutritionist. So he'll be talking about herbs. Kate Fruler, I am super excited about this person. I didn't know who she was. I started looking through authors on Ingram and seeing who was new, and then I realized she was on my friends list, and she just did this book called Of Blood and Bones, Working with Shadow Magic in the Dark Moon, from Llewellyn. So yeah, super excited about that. Papa Ted Jaw and Kate Jaw, they're, I think, oh God, I don't want to get this wrong. I'm pretty sure it's some form of ATR. It's probably IFA, but I could be wrong. So I'm waiting to get
cover them all. It could be.
Well, I don't have all their biographies. You know what? I don't have all their biographies, so it's like kind of like, oh my God, I know I asked them and I know they're good, but I don't know exactly what every one of them does. That's a tough thing. Novelist, lecturer, ritualist, poet, storyteller, artist. That's from his own page. We've got Christopher Hughes, who's like a high druid in Anglesey, the Isle of Druids in Wales. We have Crystal Madison. Oh, well, Christopher, by the way, has written a ton of books, and they're all incredible. It's he wrote the Book of Celtic Magic, From the Cauldron Born, Natural Druidry, Journey into Spirit, Celtic Tarot, As the Last Leaf Falls, A Pagan Perspective on Dying, Death and Bereavement. Lady Rhea, who is the founder of the New York City Wicca tradition, the Minoan Sisterhood, she was part of the founding of. And of course, she wrote Lady Rhea's Enchanted Candle and her Book of Oils, which are incredible. Crystal Madison, that runs the New York City Witches Ball, is, in the Festival of Witches, a dear friend of mine. Leanne Marama, and Sandra Mariah Wright. They both wrote Reading the Leaves with the largest publishing company in the world, Random House. And
we're working on getting them on the show. Maybe next week. We'll see.
Right, and Leanne is a psychic for Hex, and Sandra is our store manager, though Leanne is opening a shop soon of her own. So she's graduating. She's leaving me. Well, we're still dear friends. We're going to vacation together, but she is doing her own thing. And Levi Rowland, who's working on a book for Warlock Press now, he co-hosts Covendom with Brian Kane. Brilliant, funny, amazing teacher. Lilith Dorsey, of course, who's written, I want to get the name of the books right. Orisha's Goddesses and Voodoo Queens, Love Magic, Water Magic.
Water Magic was the most recent one. Oh, it's not out yet. Yeah, we had her on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, she's incredible. Mary Grace Farron, who wrote Rue's Kitchen Witchery, which is Italian folk magic, Rue's Kitchen Witchery. She is a hoot.
Wait, Rue's Kitchen? Oh, I know her. Yeah.
Yeah, Mary Grace Farron. Melanie Marquis, who wrote The Witch's Book of Bag of Tricks, Modern Spellcaster Tarot, Lunasa, Rituals, Recipes and Lore for Llamas, A Witch's World of Magic, Beltane, a book about Carl Llewellyn Weschke, Llewellyn's Little Book of Moon Spells. I mean, really prolific and wonderful. Here you are. Michael Fury, who has written, also with Llewellyn, Supermarket Sabbaths, Spellcasting for Beginners, Spellcasting Beyond the Basics, Supermarket Magic, The Witch's Book of Potions, you name it, very prolific. Michael Herkes, who wrote Glam Witch, and who just came out with a new book called The Complete Book of Moon Spells, just this month. Melissa Mayhem, who is the Tattoo Priestess. She is an initiate in a number of traditions, and she owns Good Mojo Tattoos in Beverly, Mass., which is one town north of Salem. She's the only person I've ever allowed to tattoo me. She does her tattoos in a magic circle for witches, and is a priestess of Hecate, though I think she says the original was Hecata. Nathan King, who is the lead tour guide for the Salem Witch Walk and works at Crowhaven Corner, and is, a Minoan initiate. Incredible. Oberon Zell, I mean, I'm not sure he needs an introduction, but...
Really? Wow, I didn't know he was doing
Grimoire
stuff
for the, Grimoire, well, they do when it's me. Grimoire for the Apprentice Wizard, so he's had a number of books. Pastor Phil Wyman, who wrote the book Burning Religion, one of my 5 favorite people in the world. He's a Christian pastor. We were on the cover of the Wall Street Journal together when he was excommunicated from the Foursquare Gospel for being friends with witches. And his answer to them, rather than give them what they wanted to hear, said, well, I'm a Christian. How can I not be friends with witches? Jesus would have been. And so he's going to do Christian pagan dialogue, or Christian witchcraft dialogue. That's the word pagan. Paul Barrel, who wrote the Master Book of Herbalism, is simply iconic. Penny Bedard.
Wow. That's one of my favorites.
Penny Bedard, we call her the meme queen. She's going to be teaching about tarot. She's got a huge following of all her memes. And Priestess Miriam Shamani, who is the head of the Voodoo Spiritual Temple here in New Orleans. Rebecca Spirit, who is also a witch and hoodoo practitioner. And let me get her thing, because I know she doesn't have a book, so I want to get her description right, but she don't have an about description. Oh, here it is. Rebecca Spirit. She's got a website. Spiritual coaching, tarot. Is there an about here? I don't see an about. Well, I don't know. I don't know how she identifies exactly. But I see that she does do astrology and tarot, and I know she's a magical person. I will have to find out exactly what her, what her exact, what her identity is. I don't want to get that wrong. Sandra Mariah Wright, of course, we already mentioned. Sen Elias, who owns Crescent City Conjure here in New Orleans, and is a frequent social media person that people, does videos and what have you. Shannon Marie Dowse. Now she does dark candles. She's the one that darkcandles.com. She's incredible. She's a hoodoo practitioner, and she makes all of the candles for Hex and Omen. She is awesome. Silver Raven Wolf. Do I need to even say who that is?
Oh my God, I really never thought I'd be on the same bill with her.
I never thought I would. I've been trying to get her for 10 years. What are you talking about? Like, between my radio show and everything else, I could never get her. But she saw me do the workshop at Witches Fest, and she loved my workshop. So I was like so glad, because, when you're Silver Raven Wolf, you're like me. You've been around forever. You don't know who all the people are. You know what I mean? She probably didn't really know much about me. So then she saw this class, and she's like, woo, so now I got her. I'm so excited. I got Silver Raven Wolf. And, she wrote to Ride a Silver Broomstick, Solitary Witch, To Light a Sacred Flame, Silver Spells, Teen Witch, Poppet Magic just came out recently, The Witching Hour, Angels, she's prolific. And then the next one, of course, was another rock star, one of the most, followed witches in the world, Sarita Dasje, who wrote Hecate, Keys to the Crossroads, Circle for Hecate, Hecate Liminal Rites, Hecate Her Sacred Fires, the Kaliak, Wicca Magical Beginnings, Practical Elemental Magic, and a bazillion other things. And she also is the owner of Avalonia Press over in the UK, which has some of the best books of magic and craft and history of paganism and magical peoples out there. And we carry Avalonia at our shop. Starian Ravenhawk, who is the owner of Charmed by Star store and also hosts Witches Fest in New York City, which I've been at both in person and online. Star Cassis, who wrote Old World Conjure, and she also has, Old Style Conjure, Hoodoo Rootwork and Folk Magic, Divination Conjure Style, and she's got the Old Style Conjure website, and of course, Star is Star Cassis. I mean, she's amazing. Stephanie Woodfield and Edward Rickey. Now, Stephanie writes books about the Morgan, and she and her husband, I don't know if it is her husband, I shouldn't say it's her, I think it might be her husband, Edward. But anyway, she wrote Celtic Lore and Spellcraft of the Dark Goddess, Priestess of the Morgan, Drawing Down the Sun, Dark Goddess Craft, Dark Goddess Craft, A Journey Through the Heart of Transformation. A Llewellyn author also. Fabulous. I had a phone call with her once. She's a really brilliant person. Really excited to have her. Another one I'm psyched about, Tara Sanchez, who's over in the UK. She wrote Urban Fairy Magic, Connecting to the Fae in the Modern World, which comes out in March of next year. The Temple of Hecate, Exploring the Goddess Hecate through Ritual, Meditation, and Divination, which is published through Sarita's Avalonia Press. Another incredible person. And I already mentioned Papa Tedjaw with Kate. Now, Tess Whitehurst is a Llewellyn author, wonderful person. She's been at HexFest. Just really kind human being. Wrote You Are Magical, The Cosmic Dancer Oracle, Magical Housekeeping, The Magical Trees, Holistic Energy Magic, The Magic of Flowers Oracle, so on, and so on. Tony Rotunda and Stephen Intermill are the owners of the Buckland Museum of Witchcraft, I believe in Ohio it is, Cleveland is it? And they're going to be doing a tour through the museum and talking about some of the stories behind the things. Wonderful people. Tonya Brown, she wrote The Doorway to Witchcraft. She does Witchway magazine, and she lives here in New Orleans. Spectacular person. Trish Telesco, another one you don't see all the time. She has written, like, how many books? You can't even go through them all, but like a Kitchen Witch's Cookbook. Spinning, Weaving Wonders. 365 Goddesses, Your Book of Shadows, How to Write Magical Spells, An Enchanted Life, Magic Made Easy, Spinning Spell, Weaving Wonders, Witch's Witch, Victorian Grimoire, Magical Folk Wisdom, blah, 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 blah. A billion, million, cajillion books. Val was the High Priestess of Oswestry, and she's in the Oswestry Coven. She's actually our upline and our teacher above, behind our, in the lineage. She's upline from our coven in the Temple of the Mother, and she is in the border of Wales. William Rizzuto, and he is an initiate of Haitian voodoo in Haiti, and I know he has a store, and I don't remember the name of it. Atlanta. It is in Atlanta. Atlanta. Oh my God, no. Oh, is it called The Conjure? I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh my God, what is the name of your store? Well, anyway, William Rizzuto. Because I don't have their bios yet, because this is all so new. I've been gathering these people over the last few days.
Yeah, I didn't even figure out what I'm going to teach yet.
Right, and it's like, I don't even know. Well, I can't remember. It's, is it Three Corners Metaphysical Shop? I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to find out.
What's the name?
I don't remember. Well, no, I don't think it's this. Doesn't look familiar.
I mean, what's the presenter's name?
William Rizzuto, but that may not be the name he goes by. Oh, Hungan Senjak. Okay, hold on. That's probably the name he's going to want to use. Well, see, this is also new. You know what I mean? I have just, I just started collecting these names. Excuse me. And I'm looking at his bio on Festival of Witches. And does it say, doesn't say. I know he has a shop, Crystal. Why don't you list the name of his shop, damn it? I don't know. I was sure he had a shop. But I guess I don't know. But I'm pretty sure he's got one. So tell me if you got one. And if, I don't know. Anyway, Ungan Senjak, Witch Doctor Utu, who wrote Mama Moses, that was so controversial. Mm-hmm. And let me see here. Yep. Conjuring Harriet Mama Moses Tubman and the Spirits of the Underground Railroad. And of course, he's with the Dragon Ritual Drummers. And, of course, they present at the Witches' Ball and HexFest every year. Okay, so yes, and we just added a new person because she just messaged me back, and that is Goddess Rhonda Harris Shudri, who's writes about healing broken selves and that sort of thing, and she's a witch and a woman of color. And by the way, we have at least 10 or 15 people of color at this event, because I know that this is a time where those voices need to be uplifted more than ever because of all this horrible persecution. And we've always been diverse. HexFest has always been diverse, and I've never tried to be. I just, I get different people. But this year I really have put a little extra in to make sure I'm not ignoring those voices. I also want to have trans presenters. I don't know of any authors who are. So if there are anybody listening and you know of some who are, or teachers at least, I would be interested, because I want to lift those voices up too, and I want to counterbalance this ridiculous narrative that I have any problem with trans people, because I do not. And finally, Yesha Matthews, who, oh God, what is the name? She has a store too. And now we need to go and figure out what the store is.
My goodness. God, I have to take a breath a couple times just reading off the HexFest presenters. I think that's like twice as much right there or something, man. That's going to take me forever.
She owns the Sacred Well in Mount Shasta, the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple.
Yeah.
And so she's got a shop 10 minutes south of Mount Shasta. She's just a really amazing human being. She's taken hits in this community too, and they've been mean to her. And I saw that, and I hated it so much, and how mean people were to her. I said, fuck this. I'm inviting her to HexFest, and I'm going to invite her to things, and and she's just, she's another one. She just rises above it. She's a devotee of Kuan Yin. She does her devotions every day on video, and she's just this amazing balanced human being that rose above the din of these haters. And so that's the full list so far.
Wow.
You know, and I've got others I've asked that I'm waiting on, but, you know, that's now 65 classes. So that's 65 classes, and there's 2 duos, so that's 67 presenters, which is epic.
That is epic, and that's what they're saying in the chat room. They're already clamoring for merch. They want some WitchCon merch with that. People have seen the new logo that you came up with already. Let's take a really quick break. I gotta go to the bathroom, and we'll be right back. It's Christian Day, just talking about WitchCon coming up in March. We're going to talk about it more, give you more details. Widdershins, we're coming back.
Just like you do, let the ritual begin. A light a candle, stick another needle in. Pins and needles, that's how I feel for you. Pins and needles, I hope you feel it too. I remember when our eyes first met. Didn't notice, but I'll never forget. Fingernails and hair from your brush. Well, I'd say there's more than a crush. Yeah, pins and needles. That's how I feel for you. Pins and needles. I hope you feel it too. Tonight you're gonna feel it too, yeah.
Corpses on Widdershins Radio. We actually had the singer for Stellar Corpses stop in on the Stay the Fucking Home show the other day. Yeah. Maybe we'll get him on if that band's ever doing that. Yep, you're there. I'm looking at the chat room.
Yeah, I'm trying to connect to my husband's AirPods, but they're not connecting here. Hold on.
All of a sudden you sound a lot better, dude. I don't know what you changed, but don't change it again. Sounds clean. It's been kind of,
I don't know why
kind
of
not bassy.
Give me a second here. I am not having fun with tech right now.
Yeah, that sounds sharp. I wish the whole interview you sounded like that.
Can't hear you at all. Hold on.
Oh, great. Well, that's not good. So let's see. Two Moons saying in the chat room we should have a Widdershins online lounge where we can bullshit and chat between we've got the Widdershins Facebook page. I think y'all can just discuss stuff right there and post back and forth. I think it's pretty open. I don't remember setting too many restrictions on that damn thing, but check us out on Facebook. I don't know where you're listening to us. If you're listening to us on Spreaker.com, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, what's the other one? iHeartRadio, Tumblr, and wherever the fuck else I clicked on to broadcast this show to, there's probably a follow button, subscribe button, something like that. You want to click that. You want to set up an account wherever you're listening to us and set it up, because we still are only giving you the tip of our very large package. We are allowed to go on 3 hours per day, unlimited times per day, and if we ever wanted to, I'm surprised we haven't during COVID, we could just go on 24/7. We could just do that. If we had like nothing else to do with our fucking lives. We could, probably won't, but we could pop up anytime we want, anytime something's going on. You need to subscribe, follow, whatever the fuck you got on there. All right, you get your, can you hear us now? Everything working over there, Kristen?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, sounds beautiful.
Oh, good. I actually have to take back Rhonda Shudri. I guess she can only do it on her phone.
Yeah, that sounds nice and clean. Very good.
It doesn't work on the phone. Like, they have a Crowdcast app, but it's not. It has the potential of throwing people off of other workshops, which I think that happened to you, or Utu, or one of you, where somebody logged in and started speaking instead of you, and I was like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, see, I hardwire it, but that kind of, especially in New Orleans, the way, even if you've got a really great Wi-Fi connection, it could just decide to go off. But the wired, I've never had a problem hardwired in.
So that's the list. And
hell of a fucking list. I'm going to have a hell of a time reading that every week.
And we've got other people waiting. I'm waiting to hear from that are, pretty heavy hitter twos, like you wouldn't believe. And I'm just waiting to hear. But it's, I'm super excited about it. I mean, this
March, what was it?
March 5th to the 7th. And I'm really hoping people don't just want merchandise, they want to buy tickets. But I am going to do that.
Yeah, get tickets too. Maybe, give them, a discount on the merchandise if they buy tickets, something like that, a promotional kind of thing. Throw them a bone. I don't know. But it's coming up. Now, I don't think it was actually mentioned. WitchCon is a digital festival. So it's going to be online. HexFest hopefully won't have to be online, hopefully by next year. But it's the first festival that I know of to innovate rather than just cancel like everybody else was doing. All of the main festivals just canceled. HexFest decided to come up with this digital thing, and then that morphed into more online teaching, and then now it morphed into WitchCon. You're just morphing all over through this fucking thing. These your haters, man, they're just not hating you enough, or you're transforming that into fuel or something, because it just doesn't look like anybody's bringing you down.
They never will. I am sad that they try to bring other people down. I think that's what disgusts me about these people. And they're so transparent. I mean, Matthew Venus, like, he attacked my husband for saying, remember when Brian said witches don't sacrifice animals, and it was because he had a very particular definition of witch?
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So, it freaked everybody out. And I know there's, look, some colonialist white people pointed guns at the ancestors of people in Latin America and Africa and other places and said, I'm taking you to jail for witchcraft. So now these people that had their own words for their magic were suddenly calling it witchcraft. And I'm certainly not going to tell them, and neither is Brian. We're not going to tell people, oh, you can't call yourself a witch, because some mean white person with a gun is the person that caused their family to use the word. So what am I going to say? But when we're promoting what we believe to be witchcraft, well, we're not including all those things, because that's not what we believe. However, when Matt Venus attacked my husband over this, he conveniently left out people that he's fond of, like Lori Cabot, that also say witches don't sacrifice animals. And he would never dare attack her. In fact, she's releasing her new do's and don'ts flyer for all the stores. I know Jeff Cullen attacked my husband too for saying witches don't sacrifice animals. Well, he sells his candles at Enchanted, which is going to be having this flyer that Lori Cabot wrote with little tweaks from me, and we worked on it on the phone together, and it actually says, I want to get it right here, it actually says one of the items that the witches do's and don'ts, Witches don't sacrifice animals or people. All life is magical and sacred. The universe provides what we need, and our gods do not require sacrifice. Thus, witches have no need to take the life of another for our magic to work. Now, I can guarantee you one thing. Just like they don't send her hate mail, Matt Venus is not going to bitch about Lori Cabot saying that in her flyer. But he'll do it to my husband, which means he has no principles.
Yeah.
It was not really about the principle. It was about attacking my husband. It's sort of like all those people at Pecan that came for Utu, but they turned a blind eye to Mambo Cheetah and they turned a blind eye to all these other people that would teach Katrina Rasbo, that were teaching hoodoo conjure and all these other things and voodoo. And mind you, I have no problem with Mambo Cheetah teaching these things, or Katrina Rasbo, or Jennifer Medway, or any of these other people. I love Jennifer Medway, but the point is, if Utu was guilty of it, so were they. So why keep them and not him? I don't think any of them were guilty. But if you're going to get rid of one, you got to do it across the board. Or it becomes very clear that your issue is not with the issue, but with the person. And if you just don't like somebody, say it. I don't like that person. That's why I don't want them. Don't make up some reason that makes you look like a hypocrite. And that's exactly what Scarlett Magdalene is, a hypocrite. That's exactly what the hell's his name? Matt Venus. And you know what she did? Did I say what she did to Matt Oren? Because I talked about spilling tea. Well, here's the tea. So a few weeks ago, Matt Oren, we don't always see eye to eye, mostly over the Yesha thing, but, I like his work. His book is selling like crazy. I mean, kudos to fucking Matt Oren, because I went into Ingram, as a bookseller of books, as a retail store, and his book is blowing every other occult book away on there.
Great.
Like he's either in the top, he's either number one of the top three or number two. It's like he's kicking out. So anyway, he was on Scarlett's Wall a few weeks ago, because she has a different victim every other week or every other day. And she had this stupid thing up there that she shared that talked about Ebonics and African American vernacular English, and how terms like spilling the tea and throwing shade are black terminologies that white people should never use, including white gay people. And I'm like, now Matt knows his gay history just like I do. We don't totally know where those terms came from, and some of them probably did come from queer people of color in the ballroom culture of Harlem in the 80s and 90s. But you also have to take into consideration, go on to Netflix, you can find an old documentary called The Queen, and it's mainly about the white pageant circuit, but there were people of color in it. And towards the end of the movie, the famous ballroom house mother, Crystal LeBeige, is freaking out because she came in fourth place and she felt she was the best, and she probably was. But because she was a person of color, the judges didn't really support her. That's why she went and founded the ballroom culture, which was mostly for people of color. And so you can see, I don't remember exactly which terms were in The Queen, but I'm pretty sure they had some of those terminologies there. And then a lot of them came out of the ballroom circuit of Harlem, of the queer people of color. But the thing is, a lot of those people that performed in the ballroom culture also performed in the more mainstream gay pageant circuit, when they call them pageant queens on RuPaul's Drag Race. And so they would perform in the pageant circuit. And so the spilling tea and throwing shade and all those things like, what's the tea, they all sort of intermingled with one another. And so by the time you got to the documentary Paris is Burning, which was all about the queer people of color ballroom culture and Madonna and Vogue and all of this, it was already moving into gay culture. When I came into the gay bar scene in 1992, when I was 22 years old, everybody white and black was saying, what's the tea? Hey, Mary, like whatever. They had all sorts of little terms they would use, and they were all, people of every color. So my point is, that ship has sailed. That genie's out of the bottle.
And who gives a fuck? It's ridiculous. Are we going to start talking about cultural appropriation over words now?
Basically, she didn't come right out. I don't think she said he was a racist, but I think she made it clear he was being racist. And one of them blocked the other. I don't know which one blocked him, but she's accusing him of editing his posts and he's being racist, and all this. I don't remember if she actually called him racist, but she basically made him sound like a racist. And I was appalled because, I don't always see eye to eye with Matt Oren. but he wrote a great book, and he is, selling crazy books, and he's, doing good work. I didn't agree with him on certain things, but, whatever. He's not a racist. He's just not. And I will stand up for Matt Oren in that regard, and I will say, fuck you, Scarlett Magdalene.
Wait.
I will also
I missed
say,
it. Somebody's saying Matt Oren's a racist, and I missed why. Because he used the term spilling the So it's for the spilling the tea thing?
No,
Okay,
because
I missed
Matt went
something.
on there and said, Scarlett, these words came from the ballroom culture and queer culture, and they've been used for 30 years and 40 years. And if you go by the 1969 documentary,
Wow.
I don't think he mentioned the document. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Matt
I really
Oren's
hate to
a
be
racist.
I'm really
Jesus
not
Christ.
happy if I'm going to be misquoted about this, so I really want to make sure that I'm clear
you're
can be heard.
You sound better than you did for half of the show.
All right, well, it's very important for me. So, anyway, no. Matt went on there and defended the use of those terms by gay people, and she basically either called him a racist, implied he was a racist, or said he was problematic. I don't remember exactly, but basically branded him a racist.
Stretch, I missed it.
And so I say, fuck you, Scarlett Magdalene, and I also say fuck you to Matt and Scarlett's mutual friends who didn't stick up for him on her wall, because I didn't see a single person go on there and say, I know Matt Oren and he's not a racist. You don't know him. I didn't see one person stick up for him on there.
I wish I'd have seen this post. I had no idea. I'm on his friends
No,
list.
they didn't stick up for Matt on there. I thought it was very rude. So her little harpies were all able to brand him a racist. Now, of course, it didn't stick because he is Matt Oren and most people like him.
Yeah.
He's not like the bad devil Christian Day where all they got to say is I'm transphobic. Nobody has to see an example of it and they just suddenly believe it. You know what I mean? Whereas, Matt's got a nicer, kinder reputation than me. But I will stand up since no one else went onto her wall and stood up for him, I'm going to stand up for Matt Oren and I'm going to say he's not a racist and she's an asshole for saying so. And yes, he is right. Fucking gay people, white and black, have been using these terms for over 30 years at least, maybe 50. So wherever they came from originally, some of them might have been black terminologies, but the ship has sailed. The language has changed. You're not going to put that back in the bottle because of some shit that happened before you were born, you stupid moron. She's just repugnant.
That's a problem with half of this argument when it comes to magic. The ships have sailed. You're not going to be able to do anything about it. Okay, I understand now. This came from there. That came from that. Okay, cool. Got it. It's still a big fucking melting pot of fucking folk magic. That's the fucking country. Everybody's magic came from somewhere fucking else. You can't fix it. Okay, I get your point, but what are you going to do about it? You can't take it back and say, oh, you can't practice this because you've got this skin color. You can't practice that because you've got that skin color. It's too late.
The ship has how are you going to put... Okay, there you go again. There's hundreds upon hundreds of white people that have gone to Haiti and got initiated. So
yes,
the people...
that too, yeah.
I have friends who think that shouldn't be the case. I do have friends that think that shouldn't be the case.
We're white poleros, so that's an ATR too.
I empathize with my friends who think that white people shouldn't go to Haiti and get initiated, but at the end of the day, the ship has sailed. Like, it's already happened. You've got all these people out there. What are you going to do? Kill them all? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, the ship has sailed. It's like these people trying to get everybody to pull out of my event. Not one person has. I mean, I suppose someone might. I suppose someone might come back and say, I don't want to do this WitchCon. And I've got 67 or 66 presenters. And so if I lose the 3 or 4, well, I still got 60 left. You know what I mean? It's
the idea that these fucking people, and I don't know if we actually touched on it for the audience, but these people were attacked. The first people we were talking about, I can't even pronounce her name, she's the Coxaquaddle or some shit, was that all of the presenters at HexFest are responsible for the one person at HexFest that they believe is a TERF. And so that makes us all TERFs, no ifs, ands, or buts. And I was like, oh, excuse me, I've got a couple ifs, I got a couple ands, and I got a couple buts for that. It's like, I'm a fucking anarchist, and I'm responsible for me. period. I'm responsible for what I do, what I think, what I say. I'm not going to, I do enough when I'm plugging HexFest. I click on the different people's thing and read what workshop they're going to do. But I don't look them all fucking up. I don't know everything about all of these fucking people. And I probably would disagree that those people are TERFs anyways. But the idea that everybody's responsible for being on the same fucking stage or same platform as somebody else is fucking ridiculous. And I just really wish somebody would come at me with that. I'm really ready to just shove it down somebody's fucking throat, but nobody won't say shit to me.
They wouldn't dare. And that, what is her name? God, I called her, she had like 4 different cultures in her name. Yeah. Oxycodone.
Yeah.
Oxycodone, detox.
Yes.
Backwater. I don't know. Oxycodone, detox, brackish water. Yeah, brackish water. She was oxycodone, detox, brackish water. I don't fucking know.
Her name
but
was
according
a series
to
of
my
cultural appropriation.
according to my sources, allegedly. She was at a lesbian festival, and she allegedly, according to my sources, I do not know if this is true, allegedly stuck a dildo in a lesbian without permission. And now that she is a trans woman, somehow that makes that okay. I don't know.
I heard something about that too, actually.
But at the end of the day, and she's an anti-Semite. Yeah. She's also an anti-Semite, and that I will say. Because look, I hate Stephen Miller. He is a white supremacist, and he has fueled Trump's awful immigration policies. But you do not call a Jewish man a Nazi. You do not. It is highly offensive and anti-Semitic. Oxycodone, detox, brackish water. It is offensive. You are an anti-Semite. And she invoked the wrath of Melissa Pomerantz, which we've all seen. Like, you know how she can get. Like, I would take you, Lorelei, Crystal Madison, all 3 of you on before I would deal with her. Like, she is like this dog with a bone, like, or a pit bull with a target. Like, just once she's got you in her sights, it's like, I'm leaving Dodge. I'm out of here. Like, I'm just going to watch the show because she is super Jew. She will fuck you up if you're anti-Semitic. And now she got that oxycodone douchebag, brackish water, whatever the fuck, in her sights as an anti-Semite because she's calling Jewish people Nazis. Mm-hmm. And whatever. At the end of the day,
I was over there too.
Here's the thing they really don't understand. Every one of these motherfuckers has something they wish the world wouldn't see. I just tend to be someone that hangs it all out there, but most people don't. They all have something, people bitch about my private conversations. I wonder what's in their private conversation. And it's not like I couldn't find out. It's not like I couldn't afford private investigators or hackers or any other sort of thing I wanted to afford if I wanted to afford them. Private investigators are legal. I don't think I'd actually hire a hacker, but I could afford to. If I wanted to know what was in these people's private
You'd be amazed what you could find out when you hire a hacker. I found
out
so much about Susan Dumbass back in the day with my friend the hacker.
I'm saying, I got money. If I really wanted to fuck with these people, like that Mambo Cheetah Fat said that I called her work. I never called her work. I said I was going to call her work because she sat there and lied about me, and now she's lying about me again and saying I called her work. And she's also saying that I attacked her just for weighing in factually. I'm like, you were attacking Utu. She was attacking Utu, and she's just as guilty. And I called her out. I said, I don't think Utu's guilty, but she's as guilty as whatever he's guilty of. And I said, you're not Haitian or black. Why are you writing a book on Haitian voodoo? Oh, because I'm Haudenosaunee. Say it real fast. Haudenosaunee. I can say that super fast. Haudenosaunee. I guess that's Iroquois Indian. It's Haudenosaunee. So she's Haudenosaunee. Say it real fast. Haudenosaunee. So that's what she is, which is not black, and it's not Haitian. So why is a Haudenosaunee writing about Haitian voodoo any more than Utu writing about Harriet Tubman? She is a fucking hypocrite. Hypocrite. Haudenosaunee. Hypocrite. She's a Haudenosaunee hypocrite. I have nothing against Haudenosaunee, but I have something against her, and she's probably not even Native. She probably has 1% of something in her DNA. And wasn't she shucking herself as the pharaoh of the world at one point? You know, she teaches Kemetic witchcraft, which is apparently an black African witchcraft, and she's Haudenosaunee teaching black African witchcraft and calling herself a fucking pharaoh. Can we just talk about that a second? Like, you are bitch, you are calling herself. And I saw her when Marie Carmel first, that's her upline of hoodoo, who's a dear friend of mine, a wonderful person. And, you know, when she first did her Zulu club opening ceremonies when she first came to town, you know, Kirk put it together, spent most of the money. Anna from Erzuli's donated $1,000, and me and Brian donated $1,000. Half of her students didn't donate anything. Those people from the voodoo store gave like $100 or $150. You know, we gave $1,000. I don't think Haudenosaunee gave anything. And there were a few people possessed with this thing. And now I am not trained in voodoo, but I do understand psychic ability, and I can perceive these things. And so Marie was possessed. I couldn't tell you if it was Ogu Foray, I think it was, or Ogu Bagadi. I can't remember. I couldn't tell you if that was the spirit, but I could tell you psychically something came over her and it was real. Something came over one of her other priestesses, a black woman who was possessed by Azili Freda, I believe, and that was real. Hoodoo Sen Moise was possessed. It was real. I felt it. Mambo Cheetah was a turkey leg bouncing up and down on a chair. There was no magic. There was no spirit. I don't need to go to Haiti to know that nothing was possessing her. Sorry, you're a fraud. You're a turkey leg. I didn't call your work. I wouldn't call your work. But I did go to Mambo Marie. Of course I did. We're mutual friends. You know, and she had me in such a rage because she was lying about me. I was like talking about Marie having a stroke. It was very mean of me, and one of her students almost punched me in the face. But we are dear friends, and she knew I was in her. You know, they put me off in this rage. Well, because she lied about me. And, you know, Demetrius Lacroix / Joseph Robichaud, you know, he and I have been off and on friends for 10 years. We're not always fans of each other, but I will tell you this. He went and defended me because she said she was never supposed to be on my radio show. She was planned to be on my radio show 10 years ago, and he went and proved it. And then she said I doxed her for using her name Tamara Ciuta. If you go to her website for Tamara Ciuta, she has Mambo Cheetah and Tamara Ciuta in the same page. So if you go through the search engines, you can find Tamara Ciuta connected to Mambo Cheetah. How is that doxing? If she has those names linked on the same page, that's not doxing. So I absolutely went to Mambo Marie because I said, I'm sorry, I went nuts. I talked about a stroke. I was horrible. I was in a rage. She lied about me and it pissed me off. And I went absolutely nuclear. I'm talking about calling child services and reporting them for drugs and all this and, you know, putting drugs in their cubicles. And I mean, I went fucking off. I don't think I've ever been that angry as I was that moment. I don't know what it was that she did that set me off other than the lie. I think I was already pissed at how they were treating Utu. So yeah, I said some things. And I went and I apologized to Marie, who's the only one I owe an apology to because she's amazing and, you know, whatever. I don't want her feelings to be hurt. I could give a fuck about turkey leg bouncing on a chair. I really don't care. Like, she is an asshole and a liar and a hypocrite because she is doing the same thing Utu's doing, but all her little friends give her a pass. Beverly Smith gives her a pass. Irene McAlpin gives her a pass. They all give her a pass, but they're going to go after Utu. Is it because he's a man? I don't really know what it is. Is it because he pissed them off once?
You got convictions, man, or you don't.
You know, or is it because he did something to piss them off, and they figured they would use this as a reason? Maybe they just don't like him as a person. But if you're going to have convictions, they should go across the fucking board. Don't have selective convictions, people. It's weak. It's pathetic, and it's most of all, transparent. We can all see your hypocrisy. Just in case you think we can't, we might not always call you out for it. I mean, I will. But everybody can see your hypocrisy, Matt Venus. Everyone can see your hypocrisy, Scarlett Magdalene. Everyone can see your hypocrisy, Mambo Cheetah. Everyone can see it, turkey leg. So, you know, non-possessed fraud. You know what I mean? Give me a break here. You know, don't come for me is all I'm saying. And do not come for my fucking associates or my presenters, because you will invoke my wrath. And trust me, it is something you do not want. You know, I may not be all these things that they accuse me of, but I am a cunt, I am a bitch, and I am a force of nature. So I will always rise above everything you throw at me, and I always have. Always, 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 always. We've gone from, God, in 2014, we were a $1.3 million business. We're now 2.8. We're not that this year, obviously, because of that. But I will say, I was not idle during all of creating the online class platform that are about to go live, creating WitchCon, creating. Are you there? What was the other thing?
Yeah, you rolled with it. You innovated.
So now our web sales are going crazy. You know, people are buying from hexwitch.com and omensalem.com. Our e-commerce is through the roof. And we're going to an upgraded POS system that's going to make the whole thing that much easier to do. So every time these people attack me, it just fuels me to work harder. In fact,
that's how everybody should react.
Out of that spite. We created HexFest out of that spite. Someone told us we were in the doghouse and needed to leave New Orleans. So we bought a house and created HexFest and said, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to immerse myself in the spirit of place, just like I did in Salem. Most powerful magic you can own, by the way. As powerful as the dead, as powerful as the gods, as powerful. Like when you've embraced the spirit of place, you become a part of something. And you become almost impossible for them to get rid of. It's why neither Lori Cabot and I could ever be scrubbed from Salem. People say, oh, he left Salem. He couldn't take the heat. I am Salem, next to Lori Cabot. She's number one. I'm two. And Brian. And he's never even lived there. And we have 2 shops there, an event, you know, festivals, all sorts of things. Our faces are everywhere in that city. And we'll forever be associated with it, just like we are here. And we're also bigger than Salem and New Orleans because, you know, we do all this TV and people know us all over the world. So I don't know what these people think they're going to accomplish, but they just keep wasting their time. And they're trying to hurt innocent people just for trying to apply their trade and go to an event and share their wisdom with people.
Yeah,
you know, Jason,
you should put on your name, TV's Christian Day. That'd be cool.
Wait, did I lose you?
No.
Hello?
We can hear you. You're good.
I don't hear you at all. Hold on.
You are good.
Hello?
Everybody hears you. It sounds good. Hello.
You're gone now. I don't know what happened.
You're good. Keep talking.
Hold on. I think you might have turned me down or something.
No, we didn't do shit. I'm leaning back on the couch with the microphone, barely talking into it, like for the whole show.
Hold on. Oh, it took me off his AirPods. I think I should be fine now.
Yeah, everybody hears you. You're good.
Yeah, I can hear you now. So, but here's the thing. You know, all I can do is assure my presenters, like Jason Miller said, he went right on to Amarella Moon's page. And you know what was funny? Is even though she said, well, I'm going to keep telling people to boycott all the presenters, but thank you for coming. But
she piping up again, that bitch?
Oh, always. Yeah, but she was respectful to him.
Huh.
You know what I mean? She was respectful to, she was very respectful to Jason Miller. They all were that were on her page. They weren't mean or rude. And it's like, but he made the point. He said, you know, if Christian were a racist or a white supremacist, so you were actively campaigning against trans people, then I would be out of there, he said. But, you know, what, he said something mean to somebody and you never see what they did. And she go, oh, he doxed me. Look what he did. Well, first of all, I did not report her. Very early on, I had said the reason I reported all of you, and you know, which I didn't because I didn't report Melissa, I didn't report Stephen Bragg, I didn't report Witch Doctor Utu, I didn't report Hoodoo Sen Moise. A lot of people reported my friends as well, and that's who reported Amarella, not me. But it doesn't really matter because if I did report her, I would admit to it because reporting her is not doxing her. If I report your fake name on Facebook and they force you to put your real name in, you can disable the account instead. You don't have to put your name in. She chose to put her name in. Therefore, That was her choice to out herself, not mine. And so if I did report her and I didn't, but here's the thing, I reported hundreds of other people, and I'm not remotely sorry, and it wasn't doxing them either. I remember Jello Shot Queen had to use Kim Gardner because I reported her fake account. I didn't dox her. She chose to put in Kim Gardner. So, if I said something mean to somebody that cursed me with death, yeah, I probably shouldn't have mentioned rape. I will get that. It was a terrible thing. But she wished death on me, and she called me fat.
She had it coming then. Had it coming.
She called me fat. I should have called her something else. I shouldn't have said rape. And I get that, and I apologize for it. But I did not report her, and even if I had, it would not have been doxing, so she can fuck off. And, at the end of the day, these people are out there trying to ply their trade. And you're going to tell them not to present at every person you don't like or said something mean to you? Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, that's wrong. And I hope the people won't pull out of my event because of that or because of my, I like to swear here. I'm swearing. I've got a filthy mouth. But, I hope that doesn't make them run. But if it does, then they're not my people. Then they weren't meant to be there to begin with. I'm not going to lose.
Fuck 'em.
Right. I am not going to lose sleep over people who don't want to be in my world. Fiona Horn said it best. She said, "Oh, this is just toxic people removing themselves from your life. That's always a good thing." I love her so much. Like, I just do. She is just one of the most amazing human beings on the planet. And that is what that is. If somebody chooses to pull out of the event, well, then they're not meant to be there. Amarella was like, well, we can at least whittle it down a little. But you haven't so far, because no one's pulled out of HexFest. I mean, Gemma Gary couldn't do it, but that had nothing to do with this. She pulled out when we went digital because she doesn't have the technology to do it. She doesn't do that.
Have a good
and if
connection.
she ever does start to if she does start to do digital, then she'll be with us. You know what I mean? But until that point,
she's got to step it up. The world is changing. This might be the new norm,
Well, whatever the case may be, I'll always have her. I like Gemma Gary, and I didn't know she was an initiate, so that made her all the cooler because, people tend to see her as the voice for the non-initiates. And, like they used to see.
Alexandrian or something else?
I don't know exactly, but she did say British craft, so it probably Gardnerian, I don't know. But in any event, the point is, they loved to see me as that voice. I think that's why people when I got initiated, so many people changed their attitudes towards me. So many authors changed their attitudes to me because I was no longer the voice for the we don't need initiation people. And so a lot of people did. It's sort of like when Oprah loses weight, the fat people stop watching, her ratings it's the truth. Her ratings would go down. And, it's sort of like I left them behind. Well, I didn't do this. First of all, I didn't do witchcraft for these people to begin with. I didn't do initiation for these people. I did these things to better myself. And then as I grew in those wisdoms, I shared them with other people. But I'm not anyone's commodity. Whether you love me, hate me, or anywhere in the spectrum between, however you feel about me, I am not your commodity. You don't own me. My message is my message. And if I deviate from where you thought I was supposed to be, well, then you can either accept those changes in my life or you can move on. And that's fine. I'll be sad if you're somebody I really care about and you need to move on because my initiation is somehow about you and your journey. Well, then, okay, that's you. I'm not going to cry. 2 tears in a bucket, motherfuck it.
Hey, Christian, do you feel better?
Oh, since I did WitchCon? Oh,
no, since you got all this off your chest. You've just been ranting for like an hour.
Well, absolutely, but I was already. I was already feeling better. I've been so full. Oh no, I've been full of myself for days since I started this con thing. Oh no, I've been riding high. No, I am glad to say all these things, but I was very upset last week. I was depressed. I was upset. I didn't like that people were being attacked. I didn't really think that they could hurt me, but I didn't like seeing my friends treated in such a bad way. And I just want you all to know that are my friends. I have you back. Like, you don't necessarily want to tell me that these people are hurting you because I might go and, erase them from the universe, figuratively speaking. But I have you back. They won't. They don't. Right,
But
and they don't know what kind of people we are, Michael. Same with you.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Marta. We're survivors.
so there's
Like
a
you
reason
people-
there's a reason for my lead in, as you might imagine, when I asked, do you feel better like letting it all out like that? It's like I've been hearing this every time that we announce we're going to have Christian Day on the air. I mean, we always want to have you on the air, and hopefully this wouldn't take away from our ability to have you on the air. But they always say, how much they miss Hex education. I miss it too. It's like, how are you? You got all this stuff bottled up. You're
remember
not
Hex
able to. You never have a
Education
show
has-
anymore.
No,
Brian
Hex
has a show.
Education- No. Hex Education is now the network.
Yeah,
Like
but
Hex
your show,
Education is
whatever
the
you want to
network.
call it, the Christian Day show.
Hex Offenders.
Hex Offender. That was the last one, but you kind of gave up on that. It was
No, I
kind of
just-
it was interesting watching
no,
you have
that's-
technical
No,
difficulties.
that's
but-
still the show. It's just me alone now. No, Hex
Yeah.
Offenders is still the show. I was going to call it Hex Offender because it's just me, but then I might bring on guests and, that sort of thing. So I'll probably keep it Hex Offenders.
Yeah, people are missing it. Everybody always talks
Well,
about it
I
every
know
time we
people
say we're
do
going to
that.
have them on the air.
Well, they love to see my little meltdowns. People do enjoy the show.
We're a
and
gossip show, and you come on, and you fill up like 10 shows worth of gossip. So yeah, of course.
People tell me where all the bodies are buried. It's like, God forbid. I talked about that. At one point, I was so angry. I said, I'm going to start just releasing all the dirt I have. I'm going to pull a Jeffree Star because he was talking about all the dirt he has on him. So I'm going to pull a Jeffree fucking Star. And I've got dirt on almost everybody. And, if I don't actually care about them or they're not important, I'll just start throwing it out there. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying. Like, I got shit on everybody. If they want to play that game where I'm the fucking bad guy, trust me, I can make everybody the bad guy. But, it's not worth my time. I would rather do something constructive. And constructive is WitchCon. And that'd make a great T-shirt. Let's face it. That's going to make a great T-shirt.
All of the people that said they wanted merchandise said they would buy a ticket right now if they were available. So they want merchandise and tickets.
They will be available probably within a few days or a day or so. I just have to, I've got so much going on, but it'll either probably be today or tomorrow. But I wanted to shore up, who the Who's of the Who's were. And I've got a nice list of 67 presenters. And, I've just got to get, I'm trying to do up the website. I'll probably
Of course, I'm assuming that you asked me first. So like this really only been like 24 hours, right? And you just started this thing.
You were definitely one of the first 5 or 6 people, I believe. If not one of the first.
Quickly. You got a website. I mean,
Well,
first of all, he's got
tickets
WitchCon, y'all. Do you know how hard? Can you believe? He was able to get WitchCon. That couldn't have been easy.
Well, it's not that it was hard to get. It was just hard because most people couldn't afford it. It was $2,600.
Exactly.
Well, with the tax or whatever they added on, there was some fee they added on. It was like $2,700 and something. And I,
More
in the
than
middle
most
of
people
COVID,
pay for a website. I got to say.
I don't really give a fuck. I wanted it. I was going to have it. I was like, Brian, please. No, I'm like, I wanted it. I was going to have it. I was going to have it. Fuck everybody. I was going to have it. And now it's going to be. And, for anybody that said, well, no one really, only a couple of people said no, and it was because of other, they aren't familiar with technology or whatever. No one's been like, I think there's a couple that are thinking about it because of the controversy. And that's fine. I respect that. If that's their thing, whatever. I don't want to force anybody to do what they don't want to do or try to be browbeat people into something they don't want to do. But, I think this is going to be incredible for people. I mean, it's weird to have T-shirts, I guess, because it's an online event, but I probably am going to do them. But I probably want to find a different image that
remember the class you taught us, man. Everybody wants the T-shirt, everybody wants the coffee mug. You taught me that.
I get it, but what I really need to do is I need to get I need to make sure I'm fully happy with the logo. Because the word witch is a little hard to read, I think. But I like that it's witchy looking and looks like old branches, and I'm still working on it, of course. But once I get it where I want it to be, I'm going to put it on everything. And, I don't know. I think we're going to be good. I think this is going to be an amazing event. I think HexFest is coming up in just a couple. We still have tickets. We still have tickets.
We
to
stopped
HexFest.
plugging it a while back because it was in person and it was sold out, and then we had to start plugging it again because now it's never going to sell out. I think.
Right.
I mean, you have like unlimited bandwidth. There's not like a certain amount of people going to crash the system.
And also, they can buy HexFest after it's over and watch it all. Like if they want to buy it 6 months from now, they can watch it all.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, they can buy it 6 months ago and watch it. And
maybe they get money for Christmas they want to spend on it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is going to be fantastic, I think. And it's just one more thing. Poor Kevin, because he's my assistant. He helps me with everything. He's my one employee. Everybody else reports to Brian. My one employee, because, I'm not easy to work for, let's face it, but he balances me out. And
Kevin is excellent. He helps me a lot.
Oh, he's phenomenal. And like you, he's had a background in traditional radio, which is why you and him have that similar sort of radio voice.
I've never heard his voice. I've never talked to him. I just email.
Yeah, it's the same sort of pitch level that you have, or I can't do the voice, but the radio voice.
Yes, exactly.
And he's got the radio voice. And and the other thing is I want to make sure, some of these images you can buy to use on a website, but to put on a T-shirt, it's a different thing. You know what I mean? So I have to find like something where, it's royalty free or, whatever. I think this is royalty free, so it shouldn't be a problem. But, I've got to make it, I don't know. I've got to figure it out. And there's a lot of work to do to this, to make this, what it needs to be. And it's also full color. So it's not going to be a vector on a T-shirt. Most T-shirts I do, well, all of them, are line art. But now that I've gone into Photoshop, this is not just done in Adobe Illustrator. It's in Photoshop. So it now, it needs to be done differently to succeed as a T-shirt. So that's also difficult. But it's all in the works. It's all going to happen. And, Tammy, Lisa, people will still want T-shirts. Of course they will. And we're going to want this. I'm going to do at least T-shirts. And I might do maybe for this, like one of those Zazzle stores or something where we just make a commission and people buy them through Zazzle or whatever. Because I don't know that I really want to be shipping these things out. Why not have Zazzle do the T-shirts or one of those things? I know the Cabot people, they have another company they use. And I can't remember what it is. Cabot, Kent, Temple, Mug. I'm going to put up Mug because I know they got one. Society 6. I'll have to look at them because they got a lot of things too. You can have your own Society 6 store with like mouse pads and that sort of thing. So I think that's what I'll probably do. You know what I mean? So that it's so that I just get a commission from them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really know what Society 6 is. Promote their artwork. Well, yeah, I think I'd rather sell them through that. I don't want to have to be shipping out T-shirts to this. I'd rather it be bought through some company,
Mm-hmm.
And then I can have, a whole bunch of merch. That way I can just focus on the design and not the fulfillment.
Yeah.
I mean, normally I do because we have a store,
Mm-hmm.
but I think having an online page store or whatever it is, it'd be easier.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody have any questions? I mean, God knows I've been rambling for so fucking long.
Let's see. Anybody? Do you see the chat room? Can you see
Yes.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not seeing anybody with any questions. Whoop.
Well, if you haven't, anybody has something they want to know. Well, I've just been ranting. I might have burnt myself out on the rant.
And we're just listening to it all. So you are gonna make merch available with this event?
Yeah, probably through Society 6 or Zazzle or one of those.
Okay.
I don't know what. I don't know how it works. You know what I mean? I have to see.
Yeah, since everything's online. Yeah.
Well, right. Like how much do you make? That sort of thing.
Right.
Versus, Dazzle, or Razzle Dazzle, Zazzle, whatever the fuck it's called. Make money through Instagram, building. Why not? Okay, interesting. Okay, very strange. No, I'm just looking at the embeddables and that sort of thing, and some of them have embeddables Facebook stores while others don't. So I have to sort of research who's the best merch, because I'd like something embedded in the Facebook store and that sort of thing.
Coffee mugs,
the most
t-shirts,
important thing is to have presenters.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I know. I still say that.
So far, it's a more epic lineup than
Can
HexFest,
Christian
which
please
is hard
say,
to believe.
at the end of the day, you bitches, I'm who I am, and that's why I'm where I am. Don't you ever forget that. That's an Alexis line. I stole that. So, one thing certainly is just, and find me on Facebook and suggest, who you want to see. I mean, I'm trying to get as many top names as I can at this point, because I do have some unknowns. I really want to get some major names I haven't heard of. Or major names I might have forgotten to ask. I've already asked Maxine. She doesn't like to teach online like that, and Lori won't do another person. She might because it was me, but she doesn't really like. She's always had this overarching policy of doing her own thing, which I can totally agree with. But I do have people from the Cabot tradition that are high up that are teaching, and there's certain people out there that I would ask, but they're haters. And they don't know they're isolating themselves by being this way. It's really disappointing, that they're willing to isolate themselves.
We're all drinking right now. We have a drinking game that started in the chat room. Everybody's drunk now, except for you. Keep going.
God. Sorry.
Thorn Mooney would be a cool presenter, they're saying in
Oh, no, I've
chat
already
room.
asked her. She's mulling it over.
Mulling. She's mulling. There you go.
She's mulling it over. And she may say yes, I don't know. She's doing HexFest next year, so it's not like she has anything against me. She just doesn't want to overburden herself. I've got a few people, I'm waiting to see about the dates, but I've been in talks with Phyllis Curott, and we're friends, and she's a huge name. I've asked Philip Heselton. I don't think he's a fan of mine, so I probably won't answer or won't say yes, but I'd still have him. And of course Jason Miller I'm working on. So I think that we're going to have some really great people. I mean, I think the list as it is just off the hook.
Fucking epic list so far. It's
I really wanted to send a message. Rivaling. Yeah. It's bigger.
I think it's got some epic fucking people on there.
No. HexFest does not have the number of presenters that has, and it couldn't.
No.
Because in order to fly, and we pay to fly and hotel them, we give them pre-vending, we give them 2 meals, and all of this, and this year we're paying them, the travelers, because we're doing the same thing we do with the locals, $300 a class. Because they're not leaving, they're wherever they are. So it's got to be equal. I'm all about being equal. One potential presenter, I won't say who, but they did say no to WitchCon because, they wanted a big chunk of money, and I don't begrudge them wanting a big chunk of money. But I won't do that because I want to treat everyone fairly, and I don't want to be in the business of deciding who's more important than who. You know what I mean? I never wanted to be in that position. And so, everybody's the same. And, this, because we're flying and hoteling and all of that, we require the travelers to HexFest to do 3 classes. Well, that very quickly fills up the roster. So once you divide it in 3, you now have the potential to have, almost 3 times the number of presenters at HexFest. And more because we're doing more than 5 class sessions at a time. We're not doing just the 5 at a time. We're probably going to have 6 or 7 classes at a time. Nothing's ever going to touch this.
Wow. You have
Nothing
seven classes going at a time. Like Crowdcast will do that? That's epic. That's epic.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea. I thought like you could have 1 going at a time or something.
No, with HexFest, we have 5 at a time, which is why the cheat sheet says do not call people to session. When you get the new cheat sheet, make sure you look it over. Do not call people to session. When you join in, it'll say, do you want to call people to session? It will suck everybody out of classes that go on at the same time as yours. It's a flaw, and they haven't fixed it. And I don't know when they're planning to, but it's the one thing that makes it sort of meh. But no, HexFest doesn't hold a candle to this list, and it cannot. But the difference is you're getting 3 classes from each person versus 1. And some people might prefer that if they have a favorite presenter. They want to see more of that favorite presenter. Whereas this, you're only getting 1 class per person. But since you don't have to worry about missing anybody because this will be available forever. Like people could buy the entire festival, WitchCon, next year after it's over, and 5 years after that, after it's over.
And similar thing with HexFest too, right? You were saying the same thing with HexFest.
Right, but that will only be this year. HexFest is not going to become an online festival. That hotel does not have the info. First of all, that hotel's in the French Quarter.
Well,
and the internet goes down every other
shit. It totally wouldn't work. But our first time at HexFest, we didn't see anybody else's workshops. They were all either early or at the same time as mine.
The French Quarter's internet goes up and down. It was down yesterday. It's always going up and down. And it's not fast enough, and it's too historic to put fiber. So they're never going to have the type of infrastructure at that hotel.
Yep.
When
we were buying the house, our realtors kept sending us stuff when they were in the French Quarter, and it just disappeared. The documents just would not show up. It's like, okay, hold on, wait till I get back to the office.
You wouldn't have wanted to live in that. You've got a great area where you are. I don't know if you have fiber yet, but we don't.
No, I mean, they would be in the French Quarter and send us a document, and sending it from the French Quarter, it would just disappear.
Fiber?
I don't think we have fiber. I've got a 5G connection and a 2G.
And then Cox, well, that's Wi-Fi. That has nothing to do with your out connection.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the connection is, but I never have a problem when I'm wired.
Well, I have a gigabit from Cox, and it's 35 megabits upload, but it goes down here and there. But gigabit up and down symmetrical fiber from Cox, they only have it in my neighborhood from business. So whereas if I were in a neighborhood where AT&T had residential fiber, I'd be paying $100. But to get it from Cox, the same amount, it would be $900 a month, and I'm just not going to do that. So, I'm going to wait till the fiber comes here. But, it is what it is. But if that hotel ever gets fiber, well, then I might consider live streaming each class at HexFest. But I don't know. I don't like that model. I like the Disney model. You've got to come to experience HexFest. Because HexFest is very much tied. It's a weekend of witchery in Old New Orleans. That loses something when you're not in Old New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't want HexFest to be a permanent live stream festival. I don't even ever, this is the one time I'm ever going to do it unless COVID stays with us. But I know that there are people that can't travel for whatever reason, whether it's finances or health or time off of work or whatever. And so I would prefer to have a different event for those people, which is WitchCon. I suppose I could someday do an in-person WitchCon. You know what I mean? And just so as you know, if you ever try to do one out from under me, I will still do one because I have the name.
Yeah, I was totally planning that, dude. God, you totally messed me up.
No,
man.
but one of these whores will. one of these whores will, and I will have the name trademarked, and I will sue them and ask for legal fees. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not fucking around with this crew. You know what I mean? If they want to be haters, they can hate me all they want. But if they come into my lair, they're only going to inspire me to do better things, amazing things that attract people and get them interested in what we're doing. And it feeds everything else, you know what I mean? So that they come to this and then they shop at the shop, and then they go to HexFest, and then they do that, and then they go to the Witch's Ball, and it all feeds one another. And so, they don't understand it. It's too big of it's too big and too complex for them to ever take down. And Matt Venus is do people really not see? He's got an event the same week as HexFest, and he's bashing HexFest and me and the people that present at HexFest. And he's got an event the same week, and nobody thinks that looks a little sketchy. Give me a break. They all think it's sketchy, and they know it's sketchy. They might not tell them, but people absolutely think it's sketchy.
So let the haters be on notice. Your attack upon HexFest has led to WitchCon. Nice job. How'd that work out? That's a bold strategy, Cotton. See how that pans out.
It panned out with, another stream of revenue.
Yeah.
He, ha ha, and ha, and he.
Oh God, I think we're lit now.
You gotta laugh.
With the drinking game going on this show, man, I think everybody's lit except for you.
No, you have got to laugh because these people actually think they mean something. No, they think they have influence. They think they matter. Oh, this one idiot. He's like the one shop in the French Quarter that I won't put on the map because he hires everybody we fire. So I can only imagine.
Susan Diamond used to do that.
Yeah. No, it's just like a cesspit of haters that are like losers and ne'er-do-wells and wannabes and whatever. And, somebody actually used the term to describe themselves, tantalizing tarot. Okay, that sounds professional as fuck. So this person's on Matt Venus's wall going, I have never even had an interaction, but he tried to sling shit magic my way. Like, dude, the only opinion I have of this person is that you hire all my haters, so clearly you have an issue with me, and so I'm not going to put you on my map. And I have shops, there's really one shop whose owner I don't care for that much, but I still keep that person's shop on the map because they're important to the scheme of shopping in New Orleans. I think you should see all the shops that are on my map, even if I don't necessarily like the owner or someone that works there or whatever else. You should see all of the shops on my map. But I didn't put this person on the map because they literally are just they literally just seem to exist to hate. But it's like now they think I'm sending magic their way. Like I would even think about this person. I read this and laughed my ass off. I'm like, do you really think that I'm just sitting there hexing and nobody knows it? Like I think they got 200 square feet. Like they're not making any money. Nobody knows they're there. And if they do know they're there, they're going to walk in and see the two products. There's like 2 candles and a stick of incense, and some psychic that looks homeless. The psychic that looks homeless, a stick of incense and 2 candles. They're going to keep on walking to see the store that's professionally done. Like I would need to curse this person. First of all, I almost never hex people. I can count the number of people I've done any sort of hexing to on one hand, and I never hex people for whom the world is already falling apart, Raven Gramassi. Why would I hex a person whose whole world is already falling apart? Why would I do that? You know what I mean?
I teach magical warfare, and I rarely have to use it because everybody knows I teach magical warfare, and they don't want to fuck with me.
I'm just saying, the world, the gods and the spirits in the universe already has opinions on these people. And clearly they have opinions on me. I'm not saying I'm, God knows, knock on wood, I don't want the gods to be dissatisfied with me, but I will say, so far in my career, somebody up there is fucking smiling down, or someone's smiling up. I don't know, but somebody's smiling. Somebody supports me in the spirit world on the other side because I'm still fucking here. I'm a survivor. I'm still doing what I'm doing. And these people aren't doing anything. So I wouldn't be sitting there cursing these people or calling their work like Mambo Cheetah Leg. You know what I mean? It's like, and can I just say, look, I'm a fatty, so I can say this. I'm a little overweight. Guess what name I would not take as a fat person?
What?
Cheetah. I'm just saying, I'm a fat man. She's a fat woman. I would not call myself a cheetah. Because everybody's going to look at you.
Is this like the black people, the N-words, like we can't make fat jokes, but you can? Is it that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. That's your word.
I'm fat. I can talk about fat. I am morbidly obese. I have type 2 diabetes. Well, I don't think I'm morbidly obese, but I am obese. No. I have type 2 diabetes because I'm fat. Like, I'm fat. I can talk about fat. And I am not going to ever call myself a cheetah because I know that the people who see, like if I walk up to you and I the weight that I'm at, I'm like 235 or whatever it is, pounds, 6 feet tall, I'm not her, 400 or whatever she is. But I'm still, I'm going to leave a dent in the pavement. So if I walk up to you and say, hi, I'm Cheetah, you're going to look at me and be like, you know what I mean? Like, when? You know what I mean? Like, I can't run more than 10 feet without getting out of breath. The most she could do is shake on a chair like a turkey leg. She's going to call herself Cheetah? Is no one going to talk about the farcical nature of that? I'm just saying. I mean, it would be like if I called myself Elephant Man. Hi, I'm Christian Day, the shamanic Elephant Man. They're going to be like, sure, of course you are. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, there's certain things you can't do as a fat man because they're going to make fun of you. And if they don't make fun of you to your face, they're going to snicker as soon as you turn your back. He says he's a cheetah. You know what I mean? Like, I am not. I'm too fat. I can't do one push-up. I can't do a single fucking push-up. I can't do one push-up. So I'm not going to call myself, there's one guy out there, well, he looks like he could maybe lift a thing or two, but there's somebody out there that calls themselves Victorian Strongman, and he can get it away with it. He looks like he's got some muscle. If I called myself Victorian Strongman, people would snicker. With these flabby arms? I mean, come on here. You know what I mean? I'm not going to call myself a strong man. I'm not going to call myself a cheetah. I think I'm okay handsome, but I'm not going to call myself a supermodel because I'm not. I'm okay. I'm good looking to some people, I guess. Whatever. I have pretty eyes, whatever the case, and 10 chins. But the point is, I'm not a cheetah. I'm not a supermodel. I'm not going to call myself, strong man, because people will laugh. So if your name is Mambo Cheetah and you're 400 pounds, people are going to think something. They might not tell you, just like they're not going to tell Matt Venus. They think that it's petty and pathetic that he is doing a call out on me when his event's the same week as mine. And people don't realize that that's kind of petty and transparent. You there?
Yeah.
Oh, there's already been 6 downloads of this. They're trying to sniff and clip. No one ever takes my words from radio shows, but they welcome to because I can always send them to this. I'm not ashamed of anything I said. So they really think. First of all, as my niece says, Angel, Cece, cousin Chris, you call me cousin, Cece, there's no shame in your game. There really isn't. I do feel bad that other people get attacked because of my personality, as complex and weird as it is. I do feel bad for that. I don't want to see people attacked. and I do try to act more priestly. I really do. I am an initiate. I try to give honor to the God. But sometimes you just got to say, fuck you. Sometimes you just got to say, fuck you. Yeah. It's just that simple.
I'm sorry, we're having a discussion in the background over. We're a half an hour into overtime, and we got to go do parent stuff, so we should probably wrap it up.
Oh, that's all right. I got to go.
It's been great, though. Everybody's having a blast still in the chat room and stuff. I think we've been on camera all day and then on the radio, so we got to go do shit.
On the radio, whoa, 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 on the radio.
So you got anything to closing thoughts?
Yeah, go to HexFest.com and get your tickets to HexFest for, what is it? I can't even remember the dates. August 8th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, or is it 8th, 9th, and 10th? Whatever it is. And
7th, 8th, 9th.
Yeah, go to WitchCon. That's going to be on sale, so bookmark the website. Look for my Facebook. Go to go to crowdcast.io/hexeducation, and that will be our Hex Education network. And go to hexwitch.com and shop. Go to omensalem.com and shop. Go to psychicsforhire.com and get readings. And you can also book appointment readings with the in-store psychics at hexwitch.com and omensalem.com. And I feel like I'm leaving something out. Yeah, I don't know. Our tour company will be starting up soon. And bookmark Warlock Press, because we're looking for authors. Yeah, I don't know. I have too many things going on.
Check out, if you're not already on there, get on Christian Day's page. He's got a public figure page and private page, and he announces all that stuff when it comes up.
ChristianDay.com, yeah.
Are you on TikTok yet?
No,
I think
but
you're too long-winded for TikTok. Really, I don't know if that could work.
No, it's that I don't have the TikTok for the TikTok. I don't have the time, but I'll probably get on there at some point just to see all the people cursing the moon. Fuck at the moon. That makes me pick up the phone. Because I'm old and no, I don't get it. And these people cursing the Fae. I told Lori Cabot about it. She goes, they must have a death wish. Cursing the Fae.
Well, and the moon and the sun, and they're cursing everything. And I think the guy that was cursing the Fae is because the Fae wouldn't fuck him or something, as near as I can tell. I don't know.
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And have a wonderful night, everybody. And if I offended you, tell your friends. I'll be here all week. If I offended
you, tell your friends. I'm going to use that line. That's a good one.
All right. Good night.
I'll credit you, of course. All right, Christian Day, always a pleasure. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
I want cake.
He wants cake. All right, I'll try and freeze a piece for you. Bye. All right, Wittershin's way into overtime, but, I just had to let him roll because that's some good fucking radio. Thanks for coming, y'all. We'll see you. And you can find me on TikTok at Michael Carell 0. I had to throw my hat into the ring. I've made my first 3 videos over there, getting a bunch of followers. And my last video was, of course, addressing the fuckery in under 60 seconds. So I wanted to see if I could teach witchcraft in under 60 seconds. And so far, I'm able to teach, a point here, a point there, that kind of thing. But I am on TikTok, trying to, let Uncle Birch influence those kids. So fucking excellent show. Always fun when we have Christian Day on. And we just kind of let him talk. And we had a little drinking game going on in the chat room. If you weren't in the chat room, every time Christian Day said... at the end of the day, or bitches, we all drank. So I'm pretty lit right now, but I got to go cut some cake for my son, do father shit. Got to get out of here. Wittershins.
When I get mad and I get binds in darkness, like the blood on my door. It's the